Once again, it's on. Outlaw Radio has made its return. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the world class smartass, aka the Negro Whisperer. It's been a while since I have been on. I know a lot of people thought, hey, well, that must be it for Outlaw Radio, but it is not, was not the end. Sometimes you got to take a step back, which is what I had to do. So give it up to myself for being able to bring this thing back. I don't know if my co-host will be joining me because I didn't really get a chance to speak with everyone to let them know that the show will be returning tonight. So if you are watching, please share the show, share it live. My phone is intact. It is 262-202-5131, 262-202-5131. We have some things have changed, so I don't have my normal streamer going across the bottom of the screen, but that number is still intact. So what's going on, Milwaukee? 414, what it do? There's a lot happening in our city right now. There's a lot happening in this country. It has been so long since I've been on. It's been since January, actually, since I've been on. Right? So much has happened in that time. It's so much to talk about. It's a tremendous gap. We are having right now the beginning of the warm seasons in Milwaukee. So, the sun is coming back out. So people are quote unquote outside more. So there's a lot to talk about tonight. I want to shout out everybody who's reached out to me and said, hey, what's going on with the show? How you doing? Checking on my well-being. I've been just on the mend trying to get myself right. Sometimes, like I said, you got to step back and make sure everything is okay on in terms of your personal health. Everybody and their mama know I got a bad back, so my back tends to give me some issues here and there, which it did, and so I had to honor that, and that's why we haven't been able to do the show. But if you are out there and you are an Outlaw Radio supporter, we're on. So tell a friend to tell a friend that the show is going down. Like I said, it's so much that's happened in our city, and a lot of it is just follow up to the things that we were already talking about on Outlaw Radio, the things that we had been just discussing over and over and over and over, from a socio-political perspective to a social perspective. And so a lot of this stuff is follow-ups to that. It's been just kind of more the same with Black America. The confusion remains, the division remains. There's so much in terms of political strife that's going on. Mikey Deacon Davis, what it do, my brother? How you doing? Sharita Shaw, how you doing, my sister? She said, hey, welcome back. Yes, it's good to be back. As they say, it's good to be seen. After all these months, the show had been put on hiatus because I was dealing with some health issues. So I had to make sure that I could actually do the show without being on here grimacing in pain, or falling out while I'm doing the show because my back was locked up. But I'm back now. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in. John Fletcher, how you doing, my brother? What's going on with you, man? EPU in the building. He said, what up, fam? Welcome back. Let's go. Yeah, it's back for the first time with Outlaw Radio. For so long I've done this, and then just to take this is the longest break that I've ever had in terms of doing Outlaw Radio. So it has turned into like a hiatus longer than I wanted it to be, but sometimes it is what it is, man. You just got to play your role. Erica Hunt, I see you in the chat room. She said, what it do, Outlaws? How you doing, Erica? What's going on with you? But yeah, so it's a lot going on in Milwaukee. Y'all see, I think the thing that's on everybody's brain is what happened at Bayshore this past weekend with the youngsters, and they had the teen takeover, and then it ended up in these huge fights, and the police were involved, and youngsters ended up, they were actually apprehended. You got to go upstairs. You got to go upstairs. You got to go upstairs. You got to go. You got to go. You got to go. Excuse me, y'all. Things going on in my house. Rosalind, oh, Dion, what it do, man? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, we're on tonight. Dion, shout out to Dion. Dion been with me every step of the way, trying to make sure your boy was good. And I am. So I told Dion I would be back with Outlaw Radio. So, but yeah, back to this teen takeover thing. This is not the first time we've seen our young people in Milwaukee um, get into some trouble. As a matter of fact, for the last, I don't know, 10, 12 years, there's been issues with our young people. Um, from the public parks to Mayfair, every mall, Mayfair, Bayshore, and it's nothing new because when I was young, Capitol Court, Northridge, those malls that are now gone, same thing. Teenagers fighting, teenagers being teenagers. But I'm just always surprised to see people go crazy arguing with each other about who's to blame. Is it the parents' fault? Is it the kids' fault? Who do we blame? Who do we blame? We look for like a scapegoat. Every time something goes wrong in our community, we start to search for scapegoats. Okay. Which is natural, but I think we waste a lot of time looking for who to blame as opposed to looking for the why. Why are we at this point? And maybe that's what people are kind of supplementing in terms of when they say who's to blame. It's why. That's their way of saying why. My thing is to say it directly. Why is this? Why is this a problem? Why does it seem like our teenagers in the black community are out of control? Well, I mean, the answer is pretty complicated and is multi-tiered and multi-layered. I don't think all teenagers in our community are out of control. I think quite obviously we have a problem with our youth being underserved. We talk about Milwaukee Public Schools all the time. We talk about the truancy rate. We talk about the achievement disparities. We talk about the lack of two-parent homes. We talk about the literacy rate. There's a bunch of different things that play into this problem. But I want everybody to understand it's not about us arguing and yelling and screaming at each other. And when we start talking about what role the parents play into this as well. So it's a lot like they say, it's a lot to unpack, right? And we can have those kinds of discussions on Outlaw Radio. As a matter of fact, like I said, these are kind of like the continuation of what we discussed before the show went on hiatus. So we're just back to pick it up where we dropped it off at and just continue that conversation. If you want to join into the conversation, the phone number is 262-202-5131. I see everybody in the chat room. Dre Day, I see you. He said, Outlaw, check in. Welcome back, big bro. How you doing? How you doing, Dre Day? Aaron Brown, he said, my dog is back. What's going on, Aaron? What's going on, man? Chicago win. What it do out in AZ? Earl Henning. Shout out to Earl Henning, who's also been in my inbox hollering at me this whole time when I've been on hiatus. He said, Mr. Bree. Hey, Blast, only you know that name, man. Only you know that name. Mr. Carter, man, what's going on with you tonight, bro?
Hey, man, I'm all right. I'm happy to be back. I tell you. Look, I was just on a podcast, dog. I promise. Like 15 minutes ago, I was on air. I walked up off that motherfucker, dog.
I did see you on there.
I got into it with the people and I hit it.
I did see you on there. I did see you. You was being quite aggressive and quite vocal. So
yeah, man. I mean, I come there. They asked me if I come on, right? So I said, all right, yeah, I'll pull up. You know what I mean? So I went and pulled up. But then, like, it's like everybody against me, and then they want to play semantics. I'm talking about how we need to get these kids to learn how to hold themselves accountable for their actions to start acting right. You know what I mean? And they against me, banging on me, steady talking about the parents. Well, the parents this, the parents that, and I'll tell you what, I ain't even got to be here.
well, that is the beginning of the conversation. Like I said tonight, is that when we start to discuss where our youth are and what their issues are, that argument kicks off on who's to blame. We always look for blame. We want to play the blame game. And I say that it's a mixture of all of the above.
Yeah,
Do
it's
some
layers,
certain
man.
parents
This is layered.
certain parents are more responsible um for their children's behavior or lack thereof than others. There are some parents out there who are doing the best that they absolutely positively can.
Yeah.
There are some parents who have given their kids as much as they know how to give them and supplied them with a tremendous amount of support and comfort in terms of having a roof over your head and having something to eat and clothes on your back. But what I know and what a lot of my partners know who I grew up with is that when we get to a certain age, we start to make decisions on our own.
Tell me
You
about it.
start you start to say, "Look, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going to do it." People talk to me all the time about my own personal upbringing in which I came from a two-parent home with a strong father and a strong mother. I never really struggled for, we there was no hunger, no real poverty like that. We weren't rich, we weren't wealthy, but we
And
certainly were not
that's the
poor.
whole that's the point I was trying to make. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us came from where we really didn't have to be out there, but we
Right,
chose to do the shit we did.
right.
You know
I
what I
I
mean? I grew up in the projects, but I didn't have. My mother was working two motherfucking jobs to take care of me. She was against all the bullshit that was going on in the neighborhood. But what did I do when I went outside? I did everything she told me not to do. You know what I'm saying? We can instill all the good shit, all the right shit into our kids in the house. You know what I mean? But when they go outside, it's on them to act right, to hold themselves accountable for the shit they doing out there. You know what I mean? Because look, the world gonna hold you accountable. But when you go to jail, nigga, they don't ask how was you raised, where was your parents, nigga. You did this, you did that. They finna lock you the fuck up.
I want to say, right before we went on hiatus, everybody who knows me know my brother passed. My older brother, Brian Barnes, Bear Meat passed, and I reflect on growing up with my brother. My brother was a real positive dude. He had made sure to steer clear of a lot of the negativity that was going on in the city, and I was coming up behind him, and he did his best to tell me, don't do this, don't go over there, don't move this way, don't. And as soon as I jumped off the porch, I ran to it. I jumped into it because there was something in me that wanted to experience it. In my mind, I was thinking, if it's so bad, if this is something that everybody keeps saying don't do or stay away from, I want to know what it is. So there is a certain part of it in which we have young people who are making decisions. And if you've worked with them, if you've conversed with them, you know that their minds, like, these aren't a bunch of innocent sheep who don't know
Right.
what they're facing. They are making decisions.
Yeah.
But as adults, what we have to do is allow them to deal with the consequences of
That's
their
right.
decisions.
Hey, they
Okay.
got mad at me because I was talking about they locked their. They was like, "Well, what you do with us?" And lock their ass up. They got mad as a motherfucker.
Sarita said they was banging on you, Kumar.
It was, man. But you know what I mean? That's why I got up and left.
Erica said, not
You
them
know what I
ambushing you
mean?
with reviews. Well, I mean, once again, I think when we as people, as black people come together to talk about our issues,
They was
it
treating me like
does
Orlando.
not Orlando, not Orlando. It does get heated, man, because a lot of people, it's emotional, man. People are
Hey,
vested, man. People
and
are people are in their feelings about this.
you talk about, when I went in there, my thing is this, right? I was one of them knuckleheads when I
Right,
was growing up. You know what I mean? My mother
right,
did every fucking thing she could to keep me straight, to keep me on the right track. You know what I'm saying? She did all
right,
that shit. I had friends that was also in one parent households. I had friends that was in two parent households. I had friends that was foster children. I don't give a fuck how you was raised. You know
But I
what I'm
think it
saying?
comes down to you when you're young, you think you know more than you actually do.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
a lot of times it's not that you don't know what you're doing, you just don't see the big picture.
Right.
You can't see the forest for the trees because a lot of times in the stuff I used to be involved in, I didn't understand that one slip could have ruined future plans, right? Like, so I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to go play ball. I wanted to go to school, all this kind of thing. I didn't understand had I have caught some sort of drug case or, even been crippled by some gunfire. None of that would have ever happened. I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was thinking for today as opposed to tomorrow. And that's what youth is. You don't understand how to think for tomorrow. You don't.
Hey,
That's why you make so many mistakes when you're young.
hey,
Um,
Killer Mike said he think they call it adolescence because we was learning adult lessons.
I don't disagree with that. I
You know
just
what I'm
think
talking about? You know what I'm talking about? But in order to learn the adult lessons, you got to be able to hold yourself accountable for the shit you did and make better changes. You know what I mean?
Erica
Make better
says,
decisions. I mean,
she said that supports my theory of they doing what they see happening among the adults. Brenda Peterson, how you doing? She says she hoped that I'm doing well. I'm doing a whole lot better, y'all. I am obviously I'm on the air. If I wasn't, I'd be chilling. I've learned that, stay within your, they say stay in your lane. When I don't feel like doing something, I don't do it. I'm not putting any pressure on myself to do something that's going to jeopardize my well-being. But shout out to you, Brenda Peterson. Thank you for tuning in. But my point, Kamar, about the young people is that if we see parents who are not able to be what we think they should be as authority figures, I think it's our job to help them. I don't think it's it's positive or progressive for us to come down on them or to
talk right,
criticize
right.
them or
They
talk
need to
about
do this. They need to do that. Maybe they don't know how to do that. Because we say it all the time. We say it all the time. You know what I mean? We, as parents, we don't always know the right thing to do. We can only do what we know. You know what I'm
them.
saying?
Yeah, and let's be honest though, it's not like we as adults are setting the best examples for our kids either. Like
Right.
I mean, I miss so much. I'm so far out the loop socially in Milwaukee. Like I'm not really a partier anymore. I'm not really out and about, but everything I see in terms of what's going on socially, it's on social media, parties and concerts. We've seen concerts, we've seen events at bars and clubs where there's violence, there's fights, people getting killed, people getting murdered. Our young people are looking at us saying, how can they be so critical of us when they don't behave much better than us? So a lot of it is some of the behaviors they see us. I mean, I think pettiness on the internet, especially amongst men, being petty and toxic and being like chatty Cathys is at an all-time high, man. Like I see some of the OGs, some of the OG street dudes, some of the OG rappers beefing on the internet or having drama on the internet with each other, and it's so petty. So how do you expect young men to come up with this ironclad code of masculinity when a lot of the men that they see aren't behaving that way? One thing about us is
Exactly. And that's why I be on, I'm sorry, but that's why I be on the issue about the whole Orlando thing. When brothers go to banging on each other like they'll come on or whatever. Like that's what it looked like. It looked horrible. And the youth see that shit. They feel like it's okay. If they see us on here banging on each other, you know what I mean, like that, they gonna feel like that's okay.
but that's one thing
Especially if we appearing to be some upstanding men.
about our generation was that the men that kind of raised us, I know in particular the men, my father and my uncles, and the men that I grew up watching were really masculine men. And they had a code. There was a code of masculinity, and they stuck to it. No matter what dysfunction you seen, if you broke it down with one of those old heads and you sat down and talked to him, he gave you jewels. He talked about the whole thing, and he held himself accountable for his part in it. But I don't think we as men, my generation, we're not the same. We don't even have the ability to speak with our young brothers like we used to. We don't. It's not that same kind of masculinity. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Let me go to my chat room. Crystal Ship, how you doing, Crystal?
What
She
up,
said,
Chris?
she said, I just think people have different views and raising a kid isn't cookie cut. What worked for me might not work for someone else. I never got into trouble as a kid. Mine came later in life. Tough love works for some, but not all. We have to use multiple different methods for this generation. I agree with you, Crystal, because you're raising. We're talking about people. They're individuals. And everybody has a different personality. Everybody has different character traits. You don't know what they did, what they grabbed up out of the gene pool genetically from the father and the mother. And so, yeah, different approaches for different folks. And tough love doesn't work for everyone. And sometimes being gentle and sensitive doesn't work. As a parent, I think it's important for you to know your child, and that like you have to have a relationship with them, and you have to have a foundation so that you know how to love them. You got to know which one of your kids it takes tough love for, which one can take it, which one can't, which one needs to be sat down and communicated with, on an in-depth level. Jeff Crape, my brother, how you doing? How you doing? He said, brother's great to see you back. What's up, fam? Hey, man, how you doing, Jeff? My brother, Jeff, how you doing? Crystal said we have to give adults and children grace because none of us are perfect, nor do we have all the answers. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about raising humans, right? We're talking about everybody's different. like I talk about my brother and I talk about myself. My brother and I were polar opposites. We were totally different. And my parents knew that we were different. So they didn't treat us the same. They didn't communicate with us the same. They treated us like individuals. And so I think that's what we forget is that these children are individuals. And like I said, you don't know what they grabbed up out of the gene pool. What did they inherit genetically? How have they interpreted some of the things they've seen, some of the things they've heard? You got a whole influence of media now that we've never seen before. It's unprecedented, the level of influence that kids get now from the media. And I'm just talking about social media. I'm talking about television. I'm talking about radio. It's a bunch of information that you can grab onto, and then it goes through your computer, and then you interpret it. So it's important for us as parents to take time to sit down with your kids and have discussions with them, is what I'm saying. Sometimes it's not all about criticizing. Sometimes it's about cohesiveness and cooperation. Everybody's always talking about it takes a village. Well, our villages now are just a set of separate teepees. Not really a village. It's an encampment. Erica Hunt said, talk about it, Kev. Ask Scott Jones what it do, cuz he said the Migos said it best. Ninjas do anything for clout. Clout is important. When you growing up in the hood, your name is your name. Dre said, do y'all think the meetup takeovers are staged by another group of people like they did with staging riots during the protests? It's happening in all major cities right now. I don't think so. I think this is our kids. I think that they're taking advantage of the fact that they have these phones and they have social media, and they are just groupthink saying, "Hey, let's tear up some shit. Let's cause some ruckus." A lot of times, these behaviors are a cry for attention too. I think a lot of them are crying out for some help and some assistance, and they're not finding it in the schools. They're not finding it in community centers. And believe it or not, there's a lot out here to help you. There's a lot of programs in Milwaukee, man, in social services and nonprofit. There's a lot out here. There's a lot of people who work very hard, youth counselors and those kinds of things. Sometimes just to get the kids to accept the help is the challenge. You don't know you sick until you don't feel good, but you don't know what your sickness is until you go to the doctor. So a lot of times you got to, and I'm one of those brothers who, and I'm trying to get better at it, got to go to the doctor, man. If you ain't feeling good, you can't just dismiss it. You got to go to the doctor and see what's wrong. So I know black people don't do therapy, and we don't, like for the quote unquote white man to tell us what's wrong with our kids and this kind of thing. But sometimes you don't know everything. You got to consider getting some help. That's another thing about us. We can see our kids going wild, and in our hearts we'll say, ain't nothing wrong with my baby. We'll blame everybody else. People be messing with him or her. Instead of really taking a step, going and say, let me get him some help. Let me get him evaluated. Let me see what's wrong with him. So there's a lot to this pot in terms of what's going on with the youth in Milwaukee. Who's this Dion? He said Orlando is some different witch doctor. It's some different witch doctor. He said, this is Dion. He said, I'm over happy to see the crew back together. Ewok is in the building. I see you, Ewok, out there in Arizona. He said Ewok the Great here. This is Jeff Crape in the chat room commenting. Shout out to y'all for being in the chat room. He said, I got 5 boys and everyone is different. And each one is on their own path. 19 to 36 are my boys' age. And you have to know each one of what each one needs. That's what I just said. Like I have 2 children. I have a girl and a boy. They're 2 totally different individuals. They're both my children, but they're both different. There's different pathways to management and motivation for both of them. And it's on me as the parent to know and to understand. Like, you should be able to really honestly look at something. When somebody tells you something about your child, you should be able to say, he didn't do that. Or, yeah, he did that. That was him. That's him. That's how he is. Instead of being in denial. No, my baby would never. Or no. Sometimes we're overprotecting, but we're enabling our children. Earl says, see the big picture. We didn't kill our mother. Well, once again, it's a different world. Parents had a different level of respect. Elders had a different level of respect when we were coming up than they do now. Our kids don't have the same boundaries that we have, but you ain't got Big Mama no more. We done lost that Southern that southern element in our upbringing. A lot of us had grandmama. Grandmama was grandmama for real. She was an older woman. She had come up through some trying times for black people. She had learned a lot, and she was able to just give you wisdom at all times. Or granddaddy. You know, a lot of the kids now have parents that 10, 15 years older than them. They don't know a whole lot more than their child. Let's think about the fact that we had an epidemic of teen pregnancy for years. Yeah, a lot of parents who were babies raising babies. You know what I'm saying? Jeff said being a leader is being like water. You adapt to the person in the situation. What is this? What is this, Jeff? You said you flow. Okay, okay. Erica Hunt is in the chat room. She said, I think we need to look closer at at this so-called leadership. I'm not taking advice from anyone who hasn't raised their own kids.
Straight up.
Jeff is hidden. He hidden where everybody's hidden at because people are. This word comes up every time something happens. He said, teaching accountability is everything. Oh, that word accountability.
Hey, so I was just saying they had a huge problem with that. You know, I'm talking about how these kids got to learn how to be accountable for their actions. You know what I mean? And act correct. They want to play semantics. Hold on, they want to play semantics about the meaning of the word accountable. You owning your actions. Yeah, but you also got to do better now. You know what I mean? Because you know what you're doing is wrong. And we got to get kids to make better decisions. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't understand that the decisions that they make, like you said earlier, they don't understand what it's going to get them. You know what I mean? They don't understand that not going to school going to fuck you up for getting a good job. You're going to be having fucked up ass temp jobs your whole life and shit. You know what I mean? They just think they out here having fun. That's the only picture they want to look at. These kids just want to look at what's going on now. What can they now? What's easy? You know what I'm saying? But you got to be hard on them. We got to get harsh and start putting our foot on their neck and let them know, man, this is you. I didn't understand about really. I knew what I was doing was wrong, right? But like it took me to go to jail a bunch of times to really get it and be like, you know what? I'm finna quit this bullshit. Like, I don't give a fuck. Whatever it is I do, I keep getting caught. You know what I'm saying? It's just time to change the lifestyle. And that's where we got to get the kids to. But for some reason, they had a problem with that. They want to keep pointing the finger at the single parents and shit, the single parent households and shit, and the kids that didn't learn how to read right. And you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. The world don't give a fuck. The police don't give a fuck what you done been through in your lifetime. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what the fuck you doing now, what you're gonna do. The world don't give a fuck about your upbringing, how traumatic it was or whatever. They don't give a fuck.
Ace Cooley said, he said, welcome back, bro. I thought them people got to you. You thought the people got to me. No, they didn't get to me. They didn't get becoming an old man is what got to me. Father Time is undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I have a bad back. When my back say ain't nothing happening for you today, it ain't nothing happening. I don't care how bad I want to do it. He said, what up, cuz? Long time no here. This is Dre Day, and I'm going to get back to Kamar when you talk about accountability. I want to get back to that, but I want to catch the chat room.
Yeah, it's all good.
He said, what's the difference between programs we had to the ones now? There's more programs now than ever. There's got to be another reason other than something for them to do. Okay. I grew up in a neighborhood where we didn't have a boys and girls club. We didn't have a community center. We didn't have any of that. We went to Phillip Playground and played basketball, or we went to King Stadium and played football, or we just did what we did in the streets. We just ran amok in the streets. We just ran around doing the things that young men do, fighting, wrestling, you know, playing each other in different games and stuff like that. But there's programs now that are specific to like arts programs and athletic programs that we didn't have. But getting kids to go to these programs and stay in these programs a lot of times is the challenge. That's what I'm saying by that. Erica said, I'm not going to lie. I was like, dang, what Kev got to say about the teens, where he been. I'm glad you came back. It's good to be back. Thank you, Erica. It's good to be back. She said grandmama is competing with her daughter now. This is Ace. Jeff said men are accountable for everything that they do. Everett Gransberry. How you doing? How you doing, my brother? He says navigating young people through the current world situation is very challenging. Young, immature adults trying to raise kids with a mindset that is not prepared to navigate the landscape. Yeah, I think the age is the experience of parents now. I mean, my parents were older when I was born. My father was 40 years old when I was born. So by the time I got old enough to talk to him, he was 50. I was 10. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it was a different conversation with him. His understanding of life was off the chart. Matter of fact, a lot of times I didn't even know what he was saying to me. And I didn't understand. But he was giving me the jewels that I needed. And as I've gotten older, I can think back now a lot of times and they'll pop in my head and I'll be like, I know exactly what he was talking about now. Erica said, my granny passed last week, Monday, at 85 years old. Long live my granny. But I already know it's my role in the family to continue the teaching and the principles and values she gave me. I know I'm the next granny of my bloodline. I'm okay with my assignment. Condolences to you for the loss of your grandmother, Erica. Earl Henning, you are right. The name of Rufus King Stadium was North Stadium. That's where we used to. That was my playground growing up. That's where we went. We when there was football games there, when there was any event, track meets, we was somewhere peeking in, peeping in, sneaking in. And when they wasn't using it, we was using it to play football, neighborhood against neighborhood. So that's where we went. We didn't need a boys and girls club. That was our boys and girls club. A said, anybody checked on Ian? They got health emergency because of toxic air. I did send Ian a invite for the show, but Ian did not know that tonight was the night that I would come back on. So we'll see if he's able to join us. Other than that, I'll reach out to him after the show. I want to get back to the word accountability that Kamar was talking about, because a lot of people, they say, well, what is accountability? I think accountability is both pre and post.
Right.
When I say pre, I think saying I'm going to be accountable for what I decide to do is understanding that whatever consequences come with this, I'm cool with it. So if I'm out here and I'm selling whatever, I'm hustling, I'm doing whatever, I should know, hey, this is illegal and time comes with this. Or if we out here on the creep, there may be, if it's some violence involved, somebody could get hurt, somebody could lose their life. I'm okay with that. But then post is saying, able to be able to say, yeah, I did do that. Yes, I did it. Yes, I accept that it was wrong. I accept whatever consequences come with it, as opposed to saying, the white man set me up. Or it's the world's fault that I'm the way I am.
Right.
The accountability centers around you being able to say, I accept the decision I made and what comes with it. That's what accountability is.
Right. And at that point, you can start making better decisions in those situations, right? Because you know right from wrong. You see what the fuck can happen now. That's what I'm saying, like about how brothers do when they go to prison. Like they see the fucking consequence. So whenever I got in trouble for something, I never did it again. I never got caught for that twice.
Okay.
You know
But
what I'm saying?
I don't think people need to argue about like accountability, because it's more than one way. You see what I'm saying? Like you could use accountability in more than one way. And you could, most 16-year-old people don't understand accountability. That goes without saying.
Right.
Because their thing is, first of all, they're still children. And their thing is to look around and say, this is not my fault. This is somebody else's fault. Like, help me, right? When accountability, most of the time when you holding yourself accountable, you don't even really want help. You just
Hey,
want to get somewhere and deal with the situation.
Right. Hey, what you think the kids thinking when they see all the adults blaming adults for the bullshit they doing?
Well, I think they said that's why we don't listen to them anyways.
You
And the
see what I'm
kids are
saying?
laughing. The
You
kids
see
are
what I'm
laughing, saying, I don't know what they tripping for. Shit. Like they never done nothing wrong.
Remember on that Kill Boy video, the motherfuckers is like, we do the shit because we know ain't nothing gonna happen.
The juvenile justice system needs an overhaul. The slap on the wrist method doesn't work a lot of times. We see kids who have bracelets on their ankle, have already offended and doing the same thing over and over.
The law will hold you accountable.
And it's going to, because they're going to lock your ass up or they're going to beat your ass. That's one of the
When the kids got arrested, they didn't ask them how many parents you got at home. They didn't ask you. They didn't ask them what's your reading level.
No, they don't care.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. So we got to get.
Well,
the
you know
kids
what? I take that back, Kamar.
actions.
They do care because they're going to test them when they get in there. They're going to test their levels because then they're going to make them go to school. They're going to like my involvement with the juvenile justice system is you do get tested because they're going to
It
make
was
you go
always
smarter to
optional. It was
make you
always
go to
optional.
school and make you they're going to put you in programs or they're going to try to steer you. Wrap around Milwaukee has a bunch of different places they're going to place kids. So they are going to test their reading level. They're going to make them do placement tests, do assessments, mental health
Hey,
assessments.
look, I went to Wales. Wales was a boys' school, right? It was a jail, but it was a boys' school. So, like you say, they make you go to school. They test you. They do all that shit. But the thing is, they don't give a fuck if you learn or not. You go to class and go to fuck to sleep.
Well, no,
And
you do it
a
right.
lot of them
Yeah.
just don't. I ain't going to school today. I ain't going today. I'm gonna walk the yard.
Well, we have to understand that there's a such thing called recidivism as well. So why do people go to jail, go through
Mm-hmm.
these programs, come home, reoffend, and go back?
Because they don't take the program serious.
Right. The people who run the jail say it's cool for you to come back. We don't. Yeah. I mean, you're just keeping us full. So I
The
think
program I took made a point to teach us about consequences. Look at your actions and look at the consequences for your action. You know what I mean? And then decide if you want to do that dumbass shit.
Everett Berry says Granberry. I'm sorry. Says give me a baseball and a wall and I'll be good. Yeah, you got to tap into what a kid loves, man. Because like I say, if it came down when I was a youngster, if it came down to football, you had my attention. And that's what ultimately steered me away from anything in the streets is because I loved playing football more than I loved being a thug. Even though I did love thugging, don't get me wrong. Football was just way more important. We have to find out what kids' interests are instead of telling them what their interests are. We have to find out. And
Yeah,
for a lot of our kids, we have to learn to be flexible. Like, because kids will say, well, I like art. And especially for us men, like if my son had to say he wanted to be a dancer, I would have frowned up on that, right? I'd have been like, you want to be a dancer. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if he was out here in the streets thugging and I would be saying, I don't understand why you doing this. And his whole thing might have been, well, I wanted to be a dancer and you didn't want me to do that. So sometimes we got to teach our kids
yeah.
how to
You
be
told me that was
multi-tiered.
gay.
I probably would have, you know what I'm saying? And I'm holding myself
I
accountable as a
know
dad.
that's why you wouldn't want them doing it.
I'd have been like, come on, man. What you mean you want to be a dancer, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of letting him be what he wanted to
Name
be.
10 famous dancers.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
10
A
rich
lot of
dancers.
times we have to allow them to be. Let's see,
Right.
it's such a thing now where we have this LGBTQ agenda that's being kind of put into place too. You got to be careful that some of these things do. Sometimes those kinds of things do lead your kid down the wrong path, right? Like I don't want him to be around a bunch of homosexual males that are rearing him. As a father, I'm going to say, nah, I don't want you to do that. But that might be the one thing that'll keep him out of trouble.
Right.
So a lot of times we need to learn how to say to our kids early on, what are you interested in doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do
I
you
know
want to do?
early on, they may not know. You know what I mean? And then those the times when you just try different shit.
Just get them involved in all the things that you can and
Yeah.
hope that something sticks.
Find out what they passionate in. Find out what they love to do and feed it to them.
Jeff, you're making a good point. He says accountability is why men do what they want to do and boys do what they're told. Own your shit and learn from mistakes or be an ass and blame everybody else.
How about that part of accountability? Learning from your mistakes because you know it was your mistake.
Everett Gransberry says accountability also speaks to the impact your choices will have on your kids who totally dependent on you and your guidance if you're giving them any. Yeah, a lot of times as a parent, you have to be careful what you're doing in the home or what you're saying in the home because kids are recorders. They're sitting there watching all this.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes, well, my daddy and them used to, or my uncles and them used to, or my mama used to. And it's like, what kind of example did the kids grow up seeing? You know what I'm saying? Kids are sponges, man. They're born as blank slates. No kid comes out bad. No kid comes out hateful. They learn that stuff from the world. So you got to be careful what environment what is my kid actually exposed to? And if my child was one of those kids that was at Mayfair, I ain't mad at him. I ain't ready to throw him out, but I'm damn sure on his ass from now on. Where you going?
Depending
Who
on how
you gonna
much
be
shit
with?
they've been into. Because like I say, you might get to a point, man, where you just got to throw your hands up.
Sometimes,
You might.
sometimes, sometimes, you know.
Because see,
Um,
here's the thing. I say it all the time. You can listen to me, or life gonna teach you.
Either way, it's gonna come about.
But I ain't gonna let what you do cost me.
Erica Hunt said they just glad they get the attention that they seek, and then they laughing at the adults because we find they're arguing amongst ourselves over them. Yeah, a lot of people are more passionate in the argument than they are with their own parenting. But I don't want to come down on nobody because there's no perfect way to do it. It takes a lot of prayer to raise children, and raising children is a
Hey,
task,
you know
man.
what? Most of the people, I noticed this too. I posted a stat about it. Most of the people that's talking shit about the parents ain't never raised no teenagers through adulthood. So they don't know how teenagers will go do what the fuck they want to do. You know what I mean? You either gonna find out about it when they get caught or you'll never know. But
Yeah, I
they
mean,
go do
yeah,
what the hell they want to do.
it's just like most relationship experts being single, right? Like,
Right.
why would I take advantage of from you? Why would I take any kind of advice from you when you have nobody?
They
You
don't know what
so
it's like. They don't know what it's like to have a teenager and put everything you got into them, and they just keep getting in trouble, just keep doing bullshit. You know what I mean? They don't know what that's like. While they blaming the parent and shit, the parent doing everything they can do most of the time. I'm gonna say a lot of the time. I don't know the percentages.
Sharita Shaw says gentle parenting is fucked up too, though. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, what's gentle though? Like, I mean, allowing your kids to get away with stuff, or you can be. I think you enable kids when you're too easy on them, when you don't want to discipline them.
yeah.
Sometimes saying no is the only advantage you have. Like, I would always, with my children, I gave them as much as I could possibly give them, but a lot of it was based on how they acted when I said no. So if you can't take me saying no to you, I gotta reduce the amount of times I say yes to you. You know what I'm saying? So gentle parenting, I mean, to love your child is to be gentle with them a lot. I don't want to treat you, I'm not hard on you. I'm not raising no gangster, but I'm gonna be honest with you and upfront with you. And discipline has to be there. Discipline has to be there. That's why I say don't totally abandon ass whoopings, but use them like they should be used. You know what I'm saying? You can't everything ain't a ass whoopable offense. Sometimes it's about incentives. Like you're not gonna be out here geared with $200 shoes on and all the latest electronics, and you can't go to school
Straight up.
or
Cut
you
that
can't listen.
motherfucking water off.
You can't do nothing I ask you to do, but I'm gonna continuously give you because life don't work like that. If you don't put in work, life doesn't reward you, so you won't have anything. A says shit. The gangs have evolved. He said we got the Wild 100 Shark, the Burla Zoo, Reno family. I've never heard of these gangs. We had regular GDs and vice lords. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the streets have changed though.
Tomato, tomato.
I think it's still get in where you fit in,
Right.
and you
That ain't gonna
identify with who you
change.
identify with,
It ain't gonna change, just the players.
and the names, right?
And
Like,
even you talk about GDs and vice lords. They wasn't always GDs and vice lords. At some point, they had other names.
yeah, the whole gang thing is.
It ain't right.
You would
It's
think
all.
that
It ain't
model
always
that
nothing.
model of gangs is played out, but it never is played out because people are always looking for something to belong to. People always want something to be accepted by. People want love, man. People want to be, you want to be in the family. If you ain't getting it from home, you're gonna get it where you figure out where you figure you can get it from. They say if you can't love the one you want, you have to love who you with, right? So that's kind of the gang thing in a nutshell. A says we have to get them interested in medicine, engineering, architecture. How do the Asians get their children into these fields? Well, Asian people still have a whole lot of solidarity. They still have a whole lot of control over the narrative, their own narrative. They have their own community still. Black people have no solidarity. That's why it's so important for us to self identify. You're going to get me on the delineation movement again. That's why it's important for us to identify who us is. Who is we? They not like us. Well, who is us? Who is we? Power to the people. Well, who are the people? Right? Like we don't have the control over everything in terms of what we hand our kids like other races do. Asians have they have some juvenile delinquency issues within their community, but you don't really hear about it because they have enough solidarity for the kids to be handed something else. Like, okay, I'm not going to be a criminal anymore. I'm going to be a business person. My father owns a store, or my cousins own a hair store or a restaurant. They're going to go, they have businesses that they can walk into. We don't own enough to be able to hand our kids options. Our kids, oftentimes, when they do want to stop thugging, it ain't a whole lot there. There's not a whole lot of alternatives for them. It's like, okay, so what I'm supposed to do? Well, struggle like me, but at least I ain't in jail. Some kids be like, fuck that. I'd rather go to jail. Right? Like, so that's the challenge of I'm gonna go out here in the streets and get some money because I don't want to live. I don't want to live like my daddy or my mama struggling with these menial jobs and working their ass off and working 2 and 3 jobs and still don't have shit. So we need to start creating more in terms of what we as a community own, what we as black people actually own, because that's the only thing you have to hand children is what you own. So, if they looking at like, okay, so what's the reward for being good? Good like you, mama, good like you, daddy, and live hand to foot, like live in extreme poverty, live in these fucked up neighborhoods and still have nothing. Fuck it. I'd rather be out here and do what I want to do. Let me see. I got a caller on the line. Let me add this caller. Mama Jenkins, how you doing? She said, hello, I'm so happy. Now I can chat again. Good to have you with us, Mama Jenkins. Erica Hunt said Chris Brown. She said, this is Sharita. She says, learn behavior. Ace Cooley in the building again. He said, tough love better than no love at all. Absolutely, it is. She said, Sharita said, that's what I'm talking about. She said, everything is accordingly. Samuel McCaskill, how you doing, my brother? He said, facts. And Jeff said, been there, done that, OG. Again, I raised 6-0 jail time. Accountability, ass whoopings to a 17-year-old is violence. You got, he said, you got different problems at that point. Yeah, at 17, you ain't whooping his ass. If you still got to whoop his ass at 17, y'all got a big issue. Jeff said, if you choose gangs, do what you do. Erica Hunt said, my goal is to find balance between tough love and gentle parenting. Yeah, ain't that the perfect place to be? Tough love, but you still are there for your kids. Jeff said, Asians stay with culture, even if it seems racist. Many come flat broke. And Everett Gransberry says the people who run the institutions, for the most part, are not from the neighborhood, so they don't care about you or your future. When I worked at Ethan Allen School for Boys, my sole purpose was to make sure the young black men had an advocate looking out for them. I would see their mothers, aunts, uncles, and other family members in the stores when I shopped. That in itself kept me dedicated to protecting them and mentoring them through that system. Did I have a tough job? Yes, but I worked. Yeah, I've worked with you. I've worked with a lot. He said I work for. Hold on, y'all. Let me catch this. He said, did I have a tough job? Yes, but I worked. Okay. I did the same thing. I worked with a lot of these youth, adjudicated teenage felons. I seen the family. I seen the mother and father that was raising them, the neighborhood, the household. And the only thing I could do was advocate for them where they were, but to also try to teach them that the future is coming, whether you are prepared or not. So it's better to get your shit together now and get ready to fight. We used to call it fighting a good fight, meaning picking and choosing your battles, knowing when it's time to fight and when it's time for flight. I got Ewok on the line. Let me see if I can bring him through, make sure my equipment is still equipmenting. Ewok, what it do?
What it is, what it do, man? What's going on, K-Bull?
What's up, family?
Nah, shit. So I just had a quick question. It's a national problem and shit with these young cats and shit. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, it seems like Milwaukee young cats is just different than these other motherfuckers. They worse than Chicago motherfuckers, man. So, I mean, it got to be something going on different in Milwaukee than it is everywhere else, man. For real, because these motherfuckers still crashing in the trees and shit, and still motherfuckers crashing in the houses and shit, and crashing out all over the place in the mill, dog. So all I'm saying is, shit, do y'all think is, you know what I'm saying, am I wrong or right by my assessment?
I would say you're wrong in that Milwaukee youth are worse than everywhere else, because I think across this country, if you go to the most impoverished communities, the young people are off the chain. If you go to South Central Los Angeles, I'm pretty sure you look at some of those youth and say, holy shit. These Milwaukee dudes,
I
man.
said
Even
that, you
Chicago,
know,
I
they
don't
doing
think
it all over.
I pay attention to Chicago, what's going on in Chicago too, and I have family down there. They still got some issues with Chicago youth that are, I can't say they're worse than Milwaukee. I think they're all, first of all, it's all bad, but I don't think
No doubt.
Milwaukee is worse than anywhere else. I think people who live in Milwaukee feel like it is, and I think people who are from Milwaukee who go somewhere else feel like it is, but I don't think they're worse. I think it's all the same. And I think if you go to larger cities, if you go to St. Louis, or if you go to Chicago, you go to New Orleans, you go to DC, New York, Detroit, I think all of those cities have this youth crime, youth issue, these youth crime delinquency issues. I think they all have them. And I think us being in Milwaukee, seeing it firsthand, and you think, well, this is a small city. Like, damn, it shouldn't be this bad, but it is. I think that's why a lot of people think it's worse than other places, but I think it's all the same. I don't think Milwaukee youth.
I was raised there, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I started off, it was a question. It wasn't like me saying Milwaukee niggas are all the fucked up niggas in the world.
I'm giving you an answer to your question. I'm answering the question.
Yeah.
I said I don't think it's worse. Kamar might have a different kind of perspective on it. Kamar, you think Milwaukee youth are the scourge of the United States? They're the worst ones, or you think it's all the same, or where's your head at with that?
I don't know. I had to look at the statistics of the crimes that's committed.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like I wouldn't
figure it out.
I wouldn't just put it on them. You know what I'm saying? That's a hell of a motherfucking burden to carry.
Right.
And maybe I'm looking at it different because you know what I'm saying. I don't live there no more, and but I was raised there. You know what I'm saying?
Dig this, right? I feel what you're saying, Ewok. Cause see, look, whenever you be gone, whenever you away, like when I was locked up and I'm watching the news and shit, and I'm hearing about the shit that's going on in Milwaukee, dog, it was fucking me up. The shit looked way worse than like when you really hear it. It will make you feel like this the worst place in the world, the way the news do it. Because really, when you watch the news, it's all bullshit. Whenever they talking about local shit, it's all bullshit.
Right. I dig it. I hear where you're coming from, K.
So it could look like that to you. You know what I mean? And knowing it's a place where you from too.
Well, I'll tell you this. People tend to look at Milwaukee and say this is the worst place in this country, but I'm guaranteeing you it's not. And there's a lot of negatives in Milwaukee. It's a lot going on. But particularly people who are from here who go to other places, they tend to look back and say, man, what a shithole. I'm so glad I'm not there anymore.
Conditions like St. Louis. God.
Right.
And you know what? And on top of that, you know, but they still doing shit that we wasn't doing, man. We wasn't crashing cars or tearing up trees and shit and
see, I had homeboys who were though. I had homeboys who did do that. I had gotten some of my partners did run from the police.
It might have did happen, but not on a daily basis, though. Kev.
No, I'm not saying that. No, but to say we wasn't doing that is wrong. Like to say we wasn't. There's a lot of murder when I was growing up, and in my teenage years, the dope game was in full bloom, and a lot of us as youngsters was trying to figure it out, getting involved, going to jail.
I did my fair share of shooting up shit. That I ain't proud of too. So I know exactly what you mean, nigga. Shit, I just shot up shit, got shot at, and did all kind of crazy shit too. So like I understand.
When I see something like what happened at Bayshore, I just reflect in my mind some of the shit I seen happen at Capitol Court or happen at Northridge, where we was in there getting it in. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to ride you on a Saturday, you get on that 62 or that 76 coming from the mall, and the bus got to pull over because we fighting on the back of the bus. Like I grew up going to the Palace where they would have all night lock-in skating, and I'm just getting hit upside the head with skates and getting their ass stomped out. So when I look at them now, I say they're doing the same thing we did. A lot of my brothers who I grew up with was car thieves for real, and they would flee the police if the police got behind them, and sometimes they would wrap the car. So, but you're right.
They knew and improved motherfuckers. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, this technology, this I want it right now shit, all of that shit is all correct. You know what I'm saying?
It is at a high higher rate too.
Or is it just reported at a higher rate? I think we have more cameras now.
Right. That's true too. Yeah, I could dig that too.
I think
But
especially with social media,
but I
because
still think,
Well, I mean, as far
they
as the
they
crash,
doing way more than we did. Report or not, we know what the fuck we did. The shit, reported or not, you know what I'm saying? We know what we did. So we can use that. We can do the statistic thing, but we know what we did, and we see what they doing.
all I can say
And
is thank
it's
God there was
fucking
no
different.
social media when I was a teenager. I can say that. Thank God that my youth wasn't as many cameras as it is now, because a lot of the shit, because it was a lot going on. Trust me, it was a lot going on that was unreported. And so
Even though we know, like I said though, even though we know we did that shit, you know what I'm saying? We know what we did. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't do this shit they doing. You gotta at least admit that. We ain't doing this crash out shit that they doing, man. Come on.
I can't say
So
that
we
because
can,
I can't think of nothing that's happening now that I didn't see happen when I was young. What
you
crime?
can say it. Because you know you did it. You did it.
What
So
crime?
you remember what you remember what you did.
What crime has been committed lately that I didn't see committed by young people when I was growing up? I can't think of one. I haven't seen young people do anything
Shit, I can.
right now that we didn't do. Like, especially with I know we like to say the Kia boys and all that, but
I just think it is at a higher rate though.
I don't know.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I learned how to drive in a stolen car, but like we wasn't.
I don't want to make
it.
that assumption without real statistics. Come on.
And only reason I'm saying that
is you lived it though, Kate. You did. You lived it though, Kev. All right, go ahead, Kev.
I'm just saying that I'm going off of how the news report. Like back then, there wasn't a whole bunch of car thefts on the news and motherfuckers crashing stolen cars and shit on the news like it is now. That's damn near daily right now.
Once again, I don't know if they reported.
And we'd have been knowing the motherfuckers that were doing that shit. I know. I got two homies that crashed out getting chased by the police.
Right, we would have still known by word of mouth. Like, man, this motherfucker nigga, you know, it was a little slower to get the information, but you know what I'm saying. But we still would have known it. We still would have known who did what.
My own car, when I was a teenager, my car was stolen from in front of my house by some teenagers and found crashed and sitting on a Capitol Court parking lot. So it just wasn't on the news. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I got sweated in the car once I got it fixed because the trunk thing was popped out, and the police would pull me over because the trunk was popped out because it was so common for car thefts. Car thefts were so common. Mm-hmm. So it was happening then. I'm just saying, you know, I remember.
You're saying it wasn't happening
like this happening now, though.
I would have to see
every day.
I would have to see statistics on that. I still believe that it's reported more. Like, that's like I see all these fights on Facebook, and it's like me saying, well, there's more fist fights now than there's ever been. When I know I grew up seeing motherfuckers fight round the clock. It just wasn't
I ain't arguing that.
Look on your phone.
Yeah, I ain't gonna argue that with you because that's what motherfuckers did.
Hey, but I will argue the car issue. You know what I mean? I
would have to see the statistics.
It wasn't happening at the rate that it is now.
Just because I knew so many dudes who stole cars. Like, I have cousins and friends. I would have to see.
I started out stealing cars. That's how I learned how to drive.
Okay, let me break it down like this. Motherfucker, the niggas you knew who stole the car, they stole it to drive the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to go somewhere. These motherfuckers drive them and zig and zagging and shit and crashing into people's houses. You know what I'm saying? They crash into the people's houses, killing themselves and their friends in the motherfucker cab.
I have a cousin. I have a cousin who crashed into a house running from the police in a stolen car.
That's one incident.
And me and my guys have stolen cars and went joyriding and was swerving and smashing and doing burnouts and all kinds. That's what I'm saying. It's still the same shit going on. I just think it's reported more now. So, and if somebody had a camera back then or a phone where they could just tap right in, like the internet, social media is faster with the news than network. Because I seen the footage. I seen the footage of Bayshore on Facebook before I seen it on TV. I seen that footage.
I bet you $100 and shit that this shit crazier now than it was back when we was motherfucking doing our motherfucking bullshit. Me, you, and K, all three of us is guilty of doing our bullshit. But I bet you $100 that this shit is totally different than when we was doing our bullshit.
I would
That's it. That's
disagree for a couple different reasons. Number one is because the homicide record in this city until it was broken a few years back, and it's still second highest of all time, was during my teenage years. The crack epidemic was crazy, and there was a lot of shit going on. It was always some shit going on, and a lot of it involved gunplay, a lot of it involved robbery, assault, all kinds of different things. That's why I say I don't know that they're so much worse off, because delinquency is delinquency. And I think a lot of, as many dead homeboys as I got and as many cats as I lost back in them days, I got to look at it now and say it's still the same. It's all destructive. It's all counterproductive. I'm not gonna say, because that's like saying, well, we was better than y'all because
no, we can all agree on what you
our
just
crime
said.
was better. Like, no, it was
No,
the
yeah,
black
no,
community.
that ain't the point. You know what I'm
The
saying?
black community
It's
that had the same issues for 90 years. You take us, no matter where we've been, we've had the same drugs, violence, robbery, police killing black people, poverty. We've had these same issues from all the way, but you go back to the 20s. It was juvenile delinquency in the black community. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had the same issues. We just have yet to procure the resources to curb them. I think
what's the word that I'm looking for? Mindset. That's the word that I'm thinking about. Mindset. So you're gonna argue against me about the different mindset, because we did have some OGs that talked to us and shit. We had uncles or somebody had a grandfather or somebody down the street that told you what was what. You know what I'm saying? So the mindset is different. You know what I'm saying? So we can approach this thing at all kind of different angles and shit. It's still fucked up regardless. You know what I'm saying? It's still totally fucked up regardless. But
I think the cycle
I think
continues.
I think our mindset still was different. You know what I'm saying? You play football, I played basketball. You know what I'm saying? K Bull, you know what I'm saying? He did what he did. You
I
know, but
played
it was
football
always
too. I
somebody
did
in our
some
ear
of that
telling
too.
us not to fuck up.
Look, we got the fact checker joining in. He finally seen that I said, okay, we'll be on
I
tonight.
called
Man,
I
Ian,
called that bitch.
What's going on, man?
man, I'm so sorry, dog. This the last day of the first quarter, so I've been billing all day. When Ewok called me, I was doing all kind of shit. I'm like, dude, I'm looking at these numbers. I'm like, ain't none of this shit right. I just took 2 of my employees on. My fault, bro. I was like, damn, because you know I done missed y'all Negroes. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, it ain't. It's not. It's no need for apologies. It's been almost 4 months. So, and like I said in the beginning of the show, I hadn't reached out to nobody to say tonight is the night that we're going to do it. It just
No, no,
kind of,
no.
it's just me saying, you know what, fuck it. I think it's time for us to bring the Outlaws back on. So, welcome
Hell
to
yeah.
the show, man. How you doing out there? I heard y'all had some kind of air thing going on. What's popping out there?
Oh, you talking about like the air alert or whatever? Like
Somebody
with
said
the heat?
earlier.
Yeah, I think we had something, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been so busy. I've been so busy in the office. I ain't been watching the news except for that dummy we got in the White House. I done seen plenty of that, but outside of that, I ain't really seen much else.
Okay. This is Ace Cooley in the chat room. He said Milwaukee is a small city with big city issues. Remember, you still got Chicago moving here.
Ugh.
Samuel McCaskill said it's all the same. He's agreeing with me. It's all the same. Jeff Crape says Chicago, Milwaukee, Houston, Texas, Detroit, and hell, Toronto. It's all the same. This is Ace. He
Mm-hmm.
said the thing we can't get twisted is the news don't report on the trailer parks, rural crime, or crime in the suburbs. They just exploit our issues. Um, Erica Hunt is in the chat room. She said Milwaukee is not the worst. When I lived in Florida, the crime was super high. My stepkids in Florida still talking to me about how many of their peers is dope heads at a young age. Everett Gransberry says integrity is gone. Carrying yourself with a semblance of dignity, um, and just simply being transparent where and who is trying to shift our young people is thinking. He said we all have done our fair share of crazy, but we function different than young folks do now. So he's agreeing with Ewok and Kamar. Um, Jeff Crape says check out Tapai, Beirut, Dangdu, China, worse than any hood in Milwaukee. I think I said that right. Mama Jenkins in the chat room. She says if it's a new world out here, And we all know that the city of Glendale is not going to tolerate these young kids coming over there destroying that area. I'm just thankful that no one had a gun. These young people are here smoking more than marijuana. This weed that they smoking is got these kids whacked out. She said there's death or two. There's a death or two every day. All I'm saying is change must come ASAP. Also, the courts are giving out life sentences 25 plus. Jeff saying been there. And Erica is saying, right, why are we still bragging about what poor behavior you had in your younger days? My problem is with the glorifying of this type of behavior and talking bad about the current generation. Let's just admit that doing crime is a badge of honor in our community. Jeff says, facts, KB. He said, we weren't desensitized to the actions. We knew right and wrong. Shout out to Terrence Tillman. What up, Terrence Tillman, man? Long time no here, man. Shout out to you. He said to salute. What's up, man? How you doing, brother? To get you back on, man. We talk some good hip hop, man. And I don't, like I say, when I talk about whatever was stupidity I committed when I was young, I don't want to glorify it. I don't want nobody to think I'm saying, hey, give me, like, I don't deserve no badge of honor for it. As a matter of fact, I always reflect on some of that as the dumber times in my life. And I do think sometimes we give more credence to people to a lot of us being dysfunctional instead of just like being against that behavior, saying that was stupid of me. So no, I'm not glorifying anything. Everything that we did back, especially our mentality was so dumb. We just took unnecessary chances, man. And thank God that brothers are still here today. I know I got a lot of homeboys who have been blessed to still be alive and out here, and they'll tell you time after time when they talk to young people, they say, I'm gonna tell you what happens in the end. Because a lot of time young people are going through this stuff and living this life and they don't understand what's coming. I tell them I seen this movie before. Pretty soon it ain't gonna be so slick. It ain't gonna be all glamour. It's gonna be like you looking back at a bunch of dead homies, a bunch of cats that's locked up, or you gonna be locked up, or you gonna be broke and struggling, and you're gonna wish you could take it back, but you can't. So it's better to just kind of make a change like right now and start living your life differently. That's what I've always told young brothers. Yeah, it's cool when you in it, but then all of a sudden it starts to not be cool. And you start looking around saying, damn, I mean, you sit down with somebody you've known over 20 years and start talking about all the people that's gone. That conversation get real sad real quick. Ace Cooley said, shit, Kev, they putting 10K on brothers' heads now. We weren't doing that type of shit. Well, depending on where you were. Depending on where you were and what game you was involved in. Mama Jenkins said, KB, we got kids as young as 10 stealing cars and crashing into other cars and causing major problems. Okay. Once again, I don't think they're doing anything that we didn't do, but I'm not the authority. I don't know everything, y'all. I can only speak from my experience, and we was left of the line growing up on a lot of shit. We did a lot of dumb shit, and I see kids now doing the same dumb shit. But maybe it is worse. Maybe it is, depending on where you sitting at. It might be worse. You know, the main thing is we got to come up with some answers or some solutions. One thing we ain't paying attention to is we still talking about continuation. And we're saying it's been 30 years since I was in my 20s, and we was doing wild shit then, and it's kids still doing wild shit, then that means we need to find some solutions because shit's not changing, right? So I guess our conversations need to start moving towards what can we do to help these youngsters before they learn the hard way. What can we do to help them? Like what? We can't make them go to school because they got a 50% truancy rate in MPS.
That's
what
bad.
can we do?
That's so bad. God, that's horrible.
What can we do? Right?
I was just told by a woman that I'm too hard on them.
You're too hard on who?
The kids.
Okay. In what way?
That's the fucking problem right there. You know what I mean? Like men been out the picture for so motherfucking long. God damn it, when we come back and start putting up some structure, now we being hard. Now, this ain't in my household now, y'all. I just I
didn't think it was.
No, Kamar, what you saying is a real important point that there's an attack on men and masculinity, period. Women now, if anything has shifted, women their attitude towards us as men has changed.
I'm
There's a
being too
lot of
strict.
women who,
I was told I'm being too strict for making these kids hold themselves accountable for going out there and acting the ass.
well, that's what I'm saying. I think they came up with the term years ago, toxic masculinity. So like I talked about them OGs that raised me, they was stoned to the bone. They was straight up men. They didn't have no feminine sensibilities. A lot of the stuff that they told me is frowned upon now. A lot of the advice that they
Oh
gave me in
yeah.
terms of how to run my household and
And
how to
that's just
move,
what just happened.
it's frowned upon.
It's the
So
same thing. It just happened. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
and
how you
women
gonna tell a man I'm being too strict on a boy that's acting a fool?
yeah. I mean,
That's wild shit.
It's fucking crazy.
That's
It's
a
on. It's
wild
on.
shit.
Hey, it's on. It's on there.
well, once again, I think
You
that that
seen it,
attack
man.
on
You
that
said you
attack on
saw me.
that attack on masculinity is there, man. Our women now don't. I don't think a lot of women revere men like they used to. I think
Nah.
they're anti-man, and I think that a man's perspective is not welcome now in a lot of conversations, especially if he's black. A lot of sisters got a problem with men. Like, let's be honest. Like, they don't, just the way we talk and the way we behave. It's like they don't. It's frowned upon, so they don't want
Don't
a
listen to
man
me or the
standing on
world
their
gonna
son.
teach you. I don't give a fuck how it come out at this point, because this is what the fuck we need. Everybody been too soft for too goddamn long. You know what I mean? Oh, they emotions. You upsetting them. You upsetting them. No, fuck that. They need to hear this shit. Ain't nobody
It's
been
so
giving it
fucking
to them.
true too. He's
Well,
so right about
if
this
men
shit.
were still in the
Now look,
homes,
now did. I also feel like we can't just be coming down hard on them, but it's also about teaching.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know
that's
what
true.
I mean? What you're doing is wrong. And I'm gonna tell you why.
If more brothers was still in the community and in the homes, and we were all, kind of like on code, I don't think this
Yeah.
would. A lot of times, what we're dealing with is a lot. There are a lot of men who are cowards. There are a lot of men who have issues, and so their masculinity is kind of, I
They
would
kicked
say,
it, they kicked the
faulty.
fathers out the house back in the day and took the belts out the parents' hands.
Yep.
Yeah, when you take that man
Now
out
the
that
kids feel
community,
like
though,
ain't no consequences. Who gonna stop?
when you take that man out that community, you doing it a disservice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think that you got to let. I think men, especially in our community, we have to be put back in a position where we can be the leaders of our community. We don't lead our community anymore. Our women have overtaken us, and their attitude towards us reflects that. Like, they have more position, they have more financial positions than us. They're going to school. They're more educated than us,
Oh yeah.
and they're looking at us like, well, y'all ain't pulling y'all weight. And there's a lot of brothers who are like, fuck you. Like, right? Like, a lot of brothers had a fuck you mentality. So they just do what they do. And it's not being poured into being family men. It's not, but like, we give more credit to a dude who's out here with a bunch of baby mamas and a bunch of kids. He's a player. He's a real nigga, as opposed to the dude that's squared up with his kids, being a father. They get more credit. Nigga, our communities give more credit than that. That's not to say we ain't fathers. It's statistically proven that black men are more involved with their kids than anybody else in this country culturally. But
Yeah.
I just think we don't get that's not the one. That's not the one that you aspire to be if you're a youngster growing up. You want to be out here. You want to, what they say, you want to be outside. Nobody says, hey man, I'm going to grow up and raise my children and be a good husband and be a good family man and build my community. Our youngsters ain't saying that. What the Ice Cube say? A 4-finger ring, a 6'4" Impala on triple gold days, and a big booty bitch
Big
to
booty
go
bitch
with
to
it.
go with it. Break them off something.
That's where our young men are at now. It's like
Yeah.
they're being taught the wrong things make you a man, right? They don't, the accountability lesson and taking care of yours and being, protective of your family is not something that they're being taught is valuable. Now they're being
No.
taught that, get you a big ass pistol, get your money. Anybody that cross your path, blow their head off.
They'll tell them you're gonna die fast or go to jail fast.
Hell yeah,
No,
you gonna get
Don't
killed
tell
out
them
here doing that dumb shit.
Dion is in the chat room. He said, I feel like everyone should be held accountable for their actions. Yeah, and they will be.
They will be.
Erica Hunt said my granny used to say a hard head make a soft ass, and the common denominator is we had to bump our head to learn our lesson. Yeah, you learn from
Too.
your mistakes. Ace said you're not too strict, cuz he said because they either gonna listen to you or they gonna listen to 12.
Exactly.
Ace said yes, you're
I
right,
don't
Kev.
push.
The shit was done by design. That's liberal white woman shit. The
Ooh.
system's working as they design it to work. Real men are outnumbered by fuck niggas. That's what Erica says.
I think people don't want to fuck niggas or real men.
Oh shit,
You know
that's a
what?
different show.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's more fuck niggas as they call it than real niggas. I just think that the definition of either or is kind of all over the place. Because what is a fuck nigga? What is a real nigga? Like who really knows? It depends on your perspective. It's objective and subjective.
So everybody that don't work out with is a fuck nigga.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Tell me this logic.
Because you don't agree with what I got to say makes me a fuck boy, or you know what I'm saying? Or
Shit, that's so funny because it's so fucking true.
sometimes I think what you want and what you get is two different things.
Right.
And so sometimes people try to force the issue and it don't work, and they end up saying, well, fuck you then. You a fuck boy. Oh,
Right.
not really. I'm just not fucking with you. Right. And so, you have to find somebody that's compatible with what you want. And we gotta stop labeling each other, and I'm a real nigga, I'm a bad bitch, and everything that's good is negative in the black community. We got to change that. We have to start putting the right labels on things. But I definitely think we as black men and black women got some things we got to get back together. And I think somebody talked about white liberal women. I think feminism, white feminist women I don't think black women need to engage in feminism. Really, I don't. Because I don't think we ever needed it. I think that drove a big wedge between black men and black women, feminism.
Because they drove the wedge between us. That didn't have nothing to do with us. You know what I mean? You got to get that nigga out of there if we're gonna give you this money.
Yeah, man.
Now it's I'm independent. I don't need no man.
She said, "Am I asking her definition of the two?" I mean, Eric, I pretty much understand what you mean. How you refer to it. I get it. I get when a woman says, "Oh, he's a fuck boy." I get it. I get what they're saying. I mean, I'm just saying sometimes the man who you refer to as a fuck boy ain't really a fuck boy. He's what you calling a fuck boy.
They be like, these men out here ain't really men.
A woman will tell you if you type of dude who won't pay all, if you won't pay all her bills, you a fuck boy. Right?
I was just about to actually add that because I just like me, because I think both of y'all in relationships, I think, correct?
Yeah.
Both of y'all? Okay, so like me, right, I'm single, so I deal with shit on a different level. Like I be going, like I went on a couple of dates, I'll drive the truck because the truck old and shit, and like second or third date, I'll drive this motherfucker. And I had this one chick try to tell me, she was like, well, you should be doing X, Y, and Z. Like my money, she said, we together. She said, our money is our money and my money is my money or some dumb shit. I was like, man, I didn't even call that chick back, man. I'm with y'all on that shit, dude, because it's like, I think the mentality has gotten manipulated, man, because we're in a position where I think we value everyone by how much money they're worth. And I think that's ridiculous. And I just think that as far as, we all know how it is in our community or whatever. But the thing is, though, man, just in general, it just seems like motherfuckers don't give a shit about you unless you can pay their bills. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all ain't really dealing with that shit, but I done seen it, man, where these motherfucking, what about these fuck girls that love to talk about what a nigga need to do and what you need to do and what you need to bring to the table when they asking you for shit they don't fucking got? Because I got into it with this one chick where she was talking about my man need to make this or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I can check a couple of them boxes, but no disrespect. And I'm not knocking nobody that don't make six figures. But what I am saying is she wasn't making nowhere near that. She was making like $16 an hour. How the fuck you telling me what I need to do for you and what I need to bring to the table and you don't got it except what you look like? Some dumb shit, man. I be getting irritated. That's why I'm single and I'm just grinding. I don't care about none of that shit.
It's objective as well as subjective. It depends on where you're sitting.
Yep.
Mama
Yep.
Jenkins said, I said a change got to come. The city is decayed and we have a lost generation. You can feel these young folks. She said you can't tell these young folks nothing. They just don't listen. Women are a big reason making bad decisions. Women are a big reason making bad decisions. Um, Ace
Yeah.
Cooley said the problem is discipline and not discipline is not part of a lot of black households culture.
Mm.
And Erica said, nah, Ian, them the modern day prostitutes you talking about, the ones that's talking about money.
Well, she fucking right. She absolutely fucking
Because
right.
that's what society subconscious trained women to think like.
That's so fucked up, man. It just is, dog. They be trying to be in your pockets and shit. Pocket watch. I don't pocket watch nobody. I love seeing in the words of Tupac, I got love for anybody getting money. But it's like, damn, I can't stand when a motherfucker be pocket watching you though. Oof.
I just think
Shit.
it's about the ability to manipulate. A lot of people just want somebody who they
Oh,
can manipulate. They want to be able to tell you
exactly.
what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And you know, a lot of people don't want to be with somebody who's a independent thinker. They want that person to love them so much that that person will do whatever they say. And even if that means I'm gonna exploit you or do you wrong, you're gonna take it and not complain and still be here for me. So get your ass over there and sit down and wait till I come back. Remember Robin Harris had that joke where he said you get an ugly woman, you say, bitch, I'll be back. I'm going to the moon. You know what I'm saying?
I do remember that joke.
And she said, okay, well, when you coming back? Well, you know, I think it's that kind of thing where people just want to be able to do whatever it is that they want to do with no consequence, no accountability. There's that word again. You want to be able to say, give me $300,000 and she give it to you and you go do what you want to do with it. And then when you come home, she's still chilling. And you say, give me 300,000 more. And women want that. They want a man who's going to check all those boxes Ian talked about,
Yep.
pay for everything, be there for her, but do what she said do. The minute he attempts to think for himself, it's like, oh, see, now you a fuck boy. And so,
Yep.
you know,
Exactly.
it just like come down to finding somebody who ain't gonna try and manipulate you. If you want to be in a relationship nowadays, one of the things you got to look for is somebody who ain't out to manipulate. I'm not trying to manipulate you. I want you to be a strong person. I want to be a strong person. Let's be strong together as opposed to you being weak and me being strong. I want to be the strong one in this relationship. And relationships don't work well like that. You need 50-50. Both of y'all got to be strong sometimes. And sooner or later, one of y'all going to be weak. So are you going to have that person's back or are you not going to have their back? And Mama Jenkins said, and having a baby by everybody that they drop pennies for, make that make sense. That part. Yeah, Mama Jenkins, yeah, it's a little bit too, pregnancy is a little bit too
nigga middle name first.
That's a little too casual now. Yeah, you can't just have babies by everybody, y'all.
You
Come
just
on now,
fucking,
man.
they just fucking randomly. Like, it's ridiculous.
You don't even know a nigga middle name.
Y'all funny as well.
Yeah, we could go on all day about some of the issues in our community. I just think we need to be focused, and that's not just us on this panel, but us, period, as a people. We need to be more focused on finding solutions, man. We don't.
Yeah, for sure.
We talk a lot about problems, but rarely is those conversations centered around solutions. But then I find that, and this is just from looking at Facebook, a lot of times we got people who step above and beyond and become more uber than everybody else. They're more enlightened. They're more lifted. They're more gifted. They have all the answers. They speak in a whole different way. Half the time I read some of these posts and they're about solutions, I don't even know what the hell they're saying on the post. I'm like, what? What are we talking about here? Like it's a bunch of conceptualized ideologies about, you know, higher levels and this kinds of thing. Like I see and hear a lot of that, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I would love to follow you, but I can't. I don't know what you're saying. I got a caller. Caller, you live. Who this?
This Erica.
What's going on, Erica?
Nothing much. I just wanted to bring up a topic that we talked about before. Remember, we was having a conversation about dating. And I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I be asking these guys sometimes, like, can I make you my emergency contact? Y'all got on my ass. How about, no, if you said that on the first date, I wouldn't call you back either. But I ain't talking about you paying my bills either. But at the same time, I feel like it's more important for me to be able to trust you as my emergency contact, because I can pay my own bills, than to expect you to pay for everything. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Well,
I
hold
just wanted to
on.
bring that back up.
Well, hold on. Now you said I think timing is everything. The first date that I ever go on with you, if you tell me you want me to be your emergency contact, I'm gonna say, hold on, wait a minute.
It's crazy.
First of
But
all,
that's not what I said, though, Kevin.
what
that was Sean Moore making being extra and trying to be funny. I'm just saying, in the course of conversating with these men, eventually I'm gonna ask you, is you trustworthy enough to be an emergency contact? Especially if I'm serious, it's gonna give you my body.
Hey,
it depends
Like,
on
don't nobody value their
They gonna
sexual
tell-
health anymore
hey,
either.
They're gonna tell you anything they think you want to hear. You talking about you finna give them your body? They're gonna tell you anything they think you want to hear.
I think it
You ain't
depends
lying,
on.
Kevin.
I think it depends on when you say that. I think you
I
got to.
think it's more. I think it's more about being in the right it's timing, like Kev said. You know what I mean? Okay, like I ain't gonna make you my contact unless we living together and shit. You know what I mean? Like I trust you. I go to the hospital. I trust you to make a decision about my life. You know what I'm saying? What?
Yeah, but how they respond to that
Deeper.
question?
I think
Give
it's
me an
deeper.
insight on their characteristics.
I think it's deeper. You can't just ask somebody that. That's something that you really got to feel. Like you got to feel the trust. Cause like a motherfucker could tell you anything if you ask. Like I said, he gonna tell you everything you think you want to hear to get what he want.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm just talking about how complicated dating is right now, because the men who have been generous to me or led with a pocket turned out to be pedophiles and women beaters and rapists. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, and see, but I was gonna say, like, why can't more women just take their time? Like, really, you ultimately the one that's gonna open your legs for this brother. So you ultimately got to make sure that this is a good brother to open your legs for.
You
know what I mean? And remember, I talked to you a while back.
I'll tell you whatever you want to hear.
Eric, remember I talked to you a while back. I told you, I said a motherfucker will lay, they'll wait. You know what I mean? So you got to wait. Ain't no hurry. Ain't no hurry.
No one in person.
Y'all planning the rest of you trying to plan the rest of your life with a motherfucker. You got time. You ain't got to open your legs. I mean, just because you think that's what they want, they just trying to get what they want for the most part. Take your time. Don't ask nobody.
Hold on, y'all. We got another caller. I have another caller I want to bring in.
Save your heart. Protect your heart.
I got somebody out in AZ. Is this Ace?
Of course, you know it is.
What it do, Ace?
It's been a minute, old man. You all broke up in the bed. What's wrong with you?
Hey, man. Hey, I'm glad I got a bed to be broke up in. I tell you that much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I'm looking at this thing, man. Y'all talking about this little relationship thing. I mean, I think a lot of it is with me. We put too much emphasis on the monetary part of things. We don't even value community no more. And I think that's just what it is. If you took the dollar out of our community and we had to barter and live, I bet you all the shit would change. We would build shit together. We would grow shit together. We would do medicine. We would teach trade. We would do everything. Money is the root of all of this shit. You know, and truthfully speaking, you was right. It was the liberal white woman that really fucked us up, fucked our women up, because they tried to teach they women, come get our women for their numbers, when our women, we had totally different problems. They didn't have the same problems as these white folks. And then what happens is they go back home to their husbands and shit and like that. And they, you know, they listening and doing what the fuck they supposed to do. They just ranting and raving out here. But now the shit done got so out of control, it done morphed into the LGBT shit. You know, now you got this gay agenda going on, and people want to say they flowers and animals and all kinds of shit, man. It's just crazy out here. But as far as us, we need to focus on us and stop focusing on everybody else. You know, our woman has to realize, man, in the home, she's our peace. She's supposed to be our peace. She's our reason, you know, instead of being our enemy. You know what I mean? She's the core of the home. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I like to Erica Hunt. I wanted to say to her, is Erica, as a woman, especially a mother, you have a whole lot to protect. And I think what you're saying about trying to, whenever you're dealing with a man, trying to figure out like what's your level of commitment to me? Can I depend on you for something that's important, like being an emergency contact or being somebody that I can depend on? I think that's entirely important. And I don't think you're wrong for seeking that. I think you just have to understand that sometimes when it comes to us men, it's a little bit at a time. Like if it's too much off top, we say, oh, that's too much. I'm not signing up for that. Like a man got to kind of be eased into things. Like he has to be able to say, I've been with her for a while. She's consistent because we have boxes we trying to check off too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're wrong for being vigilant in terms of trying to check trying to check his character or trying to check what he's made out of. Or as they say, check his temperature. I don't think you're wrong
and the
for that.
motherfucker who we really like, we'll wait on.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how
Absolutely.
patient you could be as a man if you really care about the woman.
Yeah, cause see, we having fun with you. We having a good time with you. We happy that we could talk to you about shit. It's a whole lot of stuff, like Kev said, it's boxes we checking off. And those two things, what I just said, is huge. Can I have
For a man,
like I like to know,
too,
can I sit in a quiet room with you and not have a TV on, nothing? You know what I mean? And me and you just talk and have a dope time. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of shit that
I think for a man too, it's important for women to know. If a man cares about you, he takes pride in doing stuff for you.
Right.
So if he cares about you, he want to spend some money on you. He want to see a smile on your face. He wants to be a support system for you. But he also wants to be treated. He also wants to be treated like a man. And then he'll right. And he'll do the same for you. But I think you got a lot of us men and women who are just so protective of our hearts because nobody wants to be hurt. A lot of us gonna hold out until the very end because we've been played, we've been lied to, we've been deceived. Nobody wants to keep going over the same thing. So a lot of people gonna hold back whatever it is that they have to offer. They're gonna hold that shit as tight as they can until they absolutely can't anymore. And if a man been played before by a woman, he's really holding back because he's saying to himself, I can't let that shit happen no more. So I think, like I said, I think with women and men, we got to be more patient with each other. It's like a man should understand if you get with a woman and she's saying, you know, it's not that I don't want to have sex with you, but I want to wait because I've been hurt before by giving myself to somebody who didn't deserve, I feel like didn't deserve me. He should understand that. He should be able to say, okay, baby, I got you. Ain't no big deal. He shouldn't be putting pressure on you like, hell no, you got to give it up. Like, because like, what's your issue? What issue do you have here? You know,
and
what
you
I'm
know
saying?
what, man? And them cats like that, man, you don't want to be with them anyway, man. Because like I said, a man, and truthfully, and I'm gonna speak at 100 because back there we was young and we was out in the Dakotas. And a man is stick his dick in a hole in the wall sometimes. But he ain't gonna wipe nothing unless he respects it. You get what I'm saying?
That's so true.
That's just how it is.
I try to stay away from the hole in the wall. I mean, I don't.
Well, you know what I'm saying, man. That's a figure. It's a figure of speech, man. But we'll have sex with you. We'll have sex with her. If she look good, once we get it, and we realize we gonna
I done hit a jelly roll.
No, hey, Ace, I get what you're saying that a lot of times a man, the ends justify the means. He's gonna, he's gonna say, man, I'm just trying to get it in for the night. So you're right. Sometimes it's what they call it's what they call beer goggles.
We put too much emphasis on the sexual, the sexual.
Men are visual. We're very visual.
Yeah.
Like, man, I just want to play with some breasts tonight. Like you don't think about what you look up when you look up from the breast and you oh my God, what is this that I've in your mind you think, hey, at least I accomplished my goal. Now let me get my chat room, y'all, because I got people in here. Erica says men wait to spend money, but is he coming to get me from the hospital after my life-threatening allergy is triggered? He should. If he don't, there's a sign. That's a sign if he don't. I mean, don't give him none. He don't give a shit about you. Right? Like that's a flag.
And you learn shit like that by taking your time.
So like if they're not applying pressure, they just go to the woman who is easier. Sometimes they won't.
That just means they didn't really like you.
Yeah, they just looking for a shot right there.
Mama
Yeah.
Jenkins said issues. My mother told us as girls growing up, when you give a man your body, you his. As we've you, I think that says what is that word, y'all? I can't see.
As we
When you
gave him everything.
when you give a man your body, you have
You his.
gave. Oh, she's saying below is have given him everything, cause he. I can't see that because he can as I get no closer than that hole that's between your legs. He can. I don't know what that word is, y'all. Blame me. Um, I got Dion on the line. It's been a while, man. Shout out to Dion. Dion been in my inbox checking on me, man. What's going on, brother? How you doing? I know
Man,
you.
welcome back, man. Well, yeah, you ain't consistent enough, man. You come on, I fuck with you, but you gotta be like crack with this shit, man. Real.
Yeah,
I
man.
be
Hey,
enjoying
man. I
your
just going to be sharing, man.
man. I be in then my nigga Bull Star. I like his little shit. I like man. But this the man right here though. I fuck with man. My boy, he been gone, man. I'm glad he's back. Motherfucker was scared, boy. I thought your ass was about to go fly with the angels, boy. On the real,
Oh,
but it's a
man.
good thing that you back though. You know what I'm saying? It been so much bullshit going on. I know it ain't even enough time in the day for everything, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy though. You know, I still hate everybody who supported Donald Trump. Really, definitely ain't got no more respect for him now. I'm glad he's shitting in their mouth and shitting all in their face. You know, it's just so much, man. You know, kids sneaking up in the bar. The mama and them want to sue the club because you
Oh,
remember
yeah.
what was that social whatever. You know, the kids snuck up in there. Then
Yeah.
these little niggas doing, you know. But see, the thing about that shit that happened at Bayshore, I think that's like the white kids be making them flyers and stuff for niggas to show up. Because if it was a bunch of white kids doing that shit, bro, my mama, they would be like, what they're just blowing off a little steam. They're just blowing off energy. You know, it's just spring break. They need something to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, anytime you see some bullshit, that look like David Crawley right there. Yeah. Anytime you see some bullshit going on, I'm looking
At Bayshore. I'm just hearing about this.
I don't know, some type of like flash mob shit that they do.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? It's just like this shit going on all across the country, like you said, Kev. It ain't just Milwaukee. It's goddamn Chicago, Dallas, Memphis, Mobile, Miami. You know, it's just we just living in a different day and age. I think what's different with our day and age, we used to have flash mobs. Man, on 76th Street, we had that motherfucker flooded, cruising on Capitol. Nigga, you remember back in the days, we had damn near from 35th and Capitol to Titonia, just full with cars, niggas out there subbing, after the club, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever. The difference when we were growing up to now is the social media shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's more televised, there's more people able to see it, it's able to spread, but you already know, like even now when I was coming down here to see my mama, you know what I'm saying, I'm looking at gas stations. Niggas clicking up at gas stations right now. They up there with the cars and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's hot outside, so I don't know, man. It's gonna be one hell of a summer. You know, we might as well strap our boots up. I just go to work and come home. You know what I'm saying? Still, you know, still
Yeah.
at the old system. You know what I'm saying? I just go to work and come home, man. They don't need to get up out here. Listen, I'm done. Is you done, Dion? I am done. I'm about to hang up and listen because I'm about to jump in the car and head back to the tip. I just got to come down here and see my mama real quick. I'm going to tell y'all something. Listen to me. Listen to me, man. Don't turn it off. I'm about to mute it, man. Pussy is the most powerful piece on earth. I'm going to compare it to chess. It's better than white privilege. It's better than anything on earth if used correctly. Look, now these women complaining and shit because they use their pussy the wrong way. I guarantee you, if the motherfucking husband, the wives of these husbands in Congress and shit, now these niggas can't buy no pussy, they can't go sneak and get none or nothing. And they tell these motherfuckers, if you don't get rid of Donald Trump, you don't get no pussy. Guaranteed that get rid of that motherfucker. Less than a week, nigga.
Shit, you don't forget how many pedophiles and perverts up in that motherfucker.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're not understanding my philosophy, honestly. I'm telling you, if this I'm telling you, if they use the pussy correctly, and they couldn't go out and buy no pussy, they couldn't do nothing. They'll get rid of Donald Trump in a week if their wives told him get rid of that motherfucker. That's how powerful pussy is, man. It's been powerful since the beginning of time. You know what I'm
Is
saying?
this like the Spike Lee movie?
I was just about to say that.
Chirac is that what's it called? Chirac, where the women said if y'all keep being violent,
that's exactly the plot.
we're not gonna have sex with you anymore. I think rape would go up. But sex is.
I think you're right there. Man,
if you can't get none, period. Fuck rape. I'm just throw that in there. You can't rape. You can't do nothing. And if the bitch dictated whether you can have some or not, motherfuckers, they control the whole motherfucking shit. We ain't talking about rape. Fuck rape. Nigga, you rape, you a rapist. All I'm saying is,
what is it? This you, Ewok?
Yeah, this is me.
Ooh, boy, I know it'll be on your mind that night. God damn.
I'm just telling you about the power of pussy. Motherfuckers will stop doing a whole lot of foolishness and shit. I'm just trying to dignify the power of the pussy, but they choose to give it up. You know what I'm saying? Like Kamar was saying earlier and shit. Well, you the one fucking everybody. You know? That's your fault. You went out there and gave everybody some pussy. And now you want to complain about it later. You got a choice to who the fuck you give your coochie to, god damn it. You know what I'm saying? Then don't complain later.
Let me go to the chat room. Mama Jenkins says, I've been doing some bad typing. My eyes got dilated today. In other words, she said, in other words of older women, stop letting him have it until you know it's the right time. Check things out before he gets the cookies, which is what Ewok is kind of saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing too. I want to make sure if you're listening to the show, and everybody's able to kind of call in and be on our panel and say what they want to say. The opinions expressed on Outlaw Radio are solely those of the motherfucker that said it. Know who to be mad at, okay? So if you hear something on here that pisses you off, don't hold the entire platform accountable for something that said that offends you. Be mad at the person who said it. And if you don't know quite who it was, sometimes you might have to put in the chat room, like, who said that, right? Because I feel like sometimes things are said on here, and me as the host, I am kind of like the person who's bringing this platform to light. So, but I'm to blame, right? So if somebody says something on here that's crazy, people will be mad at me. And like, I'm not fucking with Kevin because this was allowed to be said on his show. But I'm a firm believer in free speech, and I believe people should be able to say what they want to say. Yes. It doesn't mean you have to agree. As an adult, I reserve the right to agree or disagree with it when I hear you say something. Sometimes if I don't agree, I'll say something. Sometimes I won't. Right. But don't be mad if like the conversation that men are having on here about sex, some women may be offended. If you really are that offended, please chime into the conversation. Yeah. The phone number is 262-202-5131, and we have a chat room. If you look at my chat room, it is going crazy. Earl Henning is in there now saying, who said pussy costs more than dick? Shout out to DeVille Willis. What up, Q? Mama Jenkins said it's 100. Mama Jenkins is giving it like she's a woman, and she's going to always represent from a woman's perspective. I just want to respect everybody's ability to say what they want to say on my show. Right. So this is Earl saying put your dick in the dick dryer at the gas station. And I don't know what context this is said in. Maybe this is about talking about sticking your dick in the wall.
Dick in the hole in the wall.
But
it was a euphemism.
Well, when we were the time period you talking about, Ann, was 30 years ago when we was in our 20s in college, when we were out, on the frontier, right, doing like pioneers on the frontier, doing what we was doing. At this age, I can't do nothing with a hole in the wall. I'm walking. Matter of fact, I'm leaving the bathroom if I come in there and see it. Like, what the fuck? I'm out of here. I have no desire. No desire. I mean, when you get older, you know better, man. You, as a man, you put away childish things. So, and I think when we talk about sex right now is become too much of a negotiating term. Like we use that to negotiate terms of relationships now. Like, well, if you do this, I'll give you some. If you do that, like you hate when a woman say, well, until you buy me a car or buy me a purse, I'm not giving you none. And you say, well, you a prostitute. But for a man, it's the same thing. Like I give you some money if you give me some. So then that means he's a trick, right? So prostitutes need tricks and tricks need prostitutes. So
it is the oldest trade known to man.
It's the same thing. I think if we all just stop putting so much on sex, like
Correct.
sex is so much put on sex, like, you know, and then even after you go over your terms, and then the discussion becomes whether it's good or not. Because a woman will say, well, I got a man, but he ain't no good, or, you know, and vice versa. It's just so much now. Everything is sexual, as opposed to.
I don't think nothing wrong with buying it though. It's a negotiation.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's what I just said. I just said that's a big part of negotiating right now is sex. Everything's sexual. Like,
but see, here's the thing, Kev. I think
the biggest reason why this shit don't last.
It's becoming to the point that where it's almost devaluing the ladies. You know, like I said, look at what just happened down to Houston, my dude. You know, I don't know if you watched it because I was all over social media looking at the spring break situation. They talk about they fucking in cars, windows open, untinted. You know, they said it was 42,000 STDs that was contracted out there now.
Oh my Lord.
You know, and I'm, you know, my head, you know where I go immediately. I'm like, dude, this was designed. Somebody gonna put some shit out there for the babies to catch. But also, you know, we're responsible where we stick our private parts, or who we allow to go into our private. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's what you're saying. But we have to value ourselves now, dude. Because I mean, that right there is just so Neanderthalic to me now.
So,
you know,
okay, so
that's the way it's happening.
Erica Hunt is saying she's offended by some comments because she said politics don't work like that. Otherwise, a woman would have been president.
Oh shit.
That's what you want.
You know what? In that conversation, I will say no matter who the president is, there's a woman influencing some decisions being made somewhere.
Always.
Women tend to be, when we talk about families and any organization, usually the most powerful individuals in those organizations are women. So, you know, I think that there's a lot of misogyny in terms of politics, and we see that a lot of men don't want to vote for women to be leaders for whatever reason. So, but don't be offended, Erica. I don't want anybody to be offended. You know, either you agree with something or you don't. Don't be offended by it. Agree with it or disagree, but don't walk away feeling slighted by it. You know, and I've seen that with Outlaw Radio. A lot of times where people have walked away offended instead of just kind of articulating how they feel or why they feel a certain way. They just say, man, I'm offended, you know, and they just be like, well, I'm not fucking with him, or I'm not fucking with the platform. I think it just does us all a disservice. And black people in general need to learn how to agree to disagree.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, they was ready to cancel me. Real, but that's what the world is, though. On the real. And
Dion, you are canceled. Dion, you have been canceled. The women in Milwaukee have canceled you. Yes, you are.
Women call themselves bitches and be like, girl, bitch, like, ooh, like, you know.
I knew that was coming.
Really, you know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers just, you know, we just sitting back chopping it up. Like, me and my guy now, we don't on the regular be like, look at that bitch, you know. We might be like, damn, motherfucker got a big old fat ass, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, if motherfuckers just really just, you know, putting it in context, you know, some of these women, you know, behave in such a manner, though, and it really is now. And that's the part, like you said, though, Karen, and I agree with you 100%. Like, if you know you ain't out here acting like a bitch or a funky asshole, what you offending for? Like, what is you offending for, though?
Only a hit dog.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Yeah, like
he do got a point
on a daily. There's women out on a daily basis that should be offensive, that other black women should be offended. Like, damn, you know, because like the thing people always say, like white people want to be looked at as individuals, but black people we looked at as a whole. So if you got one person doing something, it's gonna affect everybody, though. You know what I'm saying? Let me move on. It's gonna affect everybody. So sometimes we can't sit up there and be like, there go the boys.
He right about that, by the way. He got a
It's
good
them.
point.
That's just them. 'Cause I ain't gonna lie though, some can damn near almost represent a whole class of women because you have women be like, "You go, girl. Yeah, girl. You right, girl." And we be like, "Hold on now." And just like you gentlemen saying though, it's so women are so salacious these days. They use sex. Sex is used as a weapon. Their body used as a weapon. And I ain't gonna lie, that shit it aggravates me because just because you a nice looking young lady, that's probably all you got to offer is look. Because a lot of these women don't be having no high school diploma. They don't hold no conversation. Their hygiene ain't the part. All you is a big old ass. You just a lay. Is that what they call it? Or
that don't stop the men from lining up and following them and wanting them. And
no, I hate that shit though, bro.
want to hear this?
He'll put her right in the MATC so she can get her a high school diploma. He'll pay
no,
for
I ain't
it.
gonna do that.
Now hold on. Erica's back on the line, and this is a sister, so I want women to have equal access to the platform. Erica, are you with us? She was. I was trying to bring her in. Erica, hit us back if you're still listening. Mama Jenkins is in the chat room. She says, years ago, in most ladies' bathroom, they used to have machines in there selling rubbers because they knew women were having one-night dates. I don't know if they still sell that stuff now, but in Chicago, at most clubs, a woman was in there selling all kinds of shit for sex dates. Yeah. Go ahead, Kamar.
Hey, I just scrolled through Facebook, man. One of these kids, they had another meeting, takeovers at Moody Park.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody then got shot.
You said
so we gonna blame the parents or the kid?
Now, what did you say happened, Kamar? Because you was breaking up a little bit.
I said I just scrolled and I just saw a couple people talk about how somebody just got shot at Moody Park. At one of them takeovers. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so again, like, what the fuck do the parents got to do with that? That was a kid that did that shit.
Moody Park and Carmen Park.
Okay.
Damn.
Erica, are you with us now?
I sure am.
Okay, what's on your mind?
So I could be offended by certain things, but I learned how to let things go. I just don't like how he tried to use, and you said it yourself after you read my comment, how he's tried to weaponize people's body parts, talking about all she got to do is withhold her sex in order to get Donald Trump out of office. I think if it was that easy, first off, we all know Donald Trump don't even like his own wife. He don't hold her hand. He don't really barely talk to her. She don't show him no affection in the public eye. So how would that concept work? So that's why I'm a little bit offended by that statement. But it's those type of statements who have put women, and I ain't even gonna say women, because I agree with Dion. I'm a woman who respects Dion's opinion. If you gonna be a hoe, then I'm gonna treat you like a hoe. I taught my nephews, my sons, if they acted like a hoe, stay away from them or put them in their place. If they want to be a hoe, treat them like a hoe. But it's the concept of, oh, pussy is the most powerful thing in the world. It's the root. No, it's not. Niggas is not valuing pussy no more because there's too many hoes out here giving it away.
I was just about to say what she just said.
Booty too.
I ain't tried to.
All they want is some booty.
No, they want men booty.
They are gay for pay. That is the problem. A lot of the people have been turned into prostitution. Holding yourself accountable, holding your body to yourself is frowned upon. It's so easy out here to get sex if you just an easy sex-seeking type of person. So yeah, I'm offended by what he says because that's the same type of bullshit ass statements that was made when my grandmama was young and coming up. It's the same type of issues that we have now.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now, Ewok is the person.
Here right now.
Ewok is the person who
you sound like type of nigga that buy pussy. So let me hang up because my mouth.
You just went.
But I know I did.
Well,
but
no, hold on, Erica.
Having conversations.
You can stay on the motherfucking line.
Hold on, Erica.
See how offended he is.
Hold on.
Now, he offended.
I want people to be sure. Hold on. I want people to be sure to know what's going on. Erica was responding to what the comments that Ernest made earlier about sex and women withholding sex to say, let's get Trump out of here. Now, he is actually on the phone, so I want to give him a chance to respond. Go ahead, Ewok.
Okay, now dig this. You know what I'm saying? You got your emotional process going on, you know what I'm saying? And you don't even understand what the hell I actually meant by that. You know what I'm saying? You need to think before you get emotional. You know what I'm saying? I was telling you what the power of pussy was and shit because, you know what I'm saying, it's Outlaw Radio. And yes, I was trying to say women do hold power. I was trying to say you can make a difference, you know what I'm saying, by that. And it's been like that since the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? If you choose to use it correctly. So you took what I said all the way left. I didn't mean it the way that you took it. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is there's always, just like Kel said, there's always a woman that got the backbone and shit. You know what I'm saying? Even though sometimes they got to play the background. But guess what? That's how God made it. The man come first, then the woman, then the children. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. But I was telling you that you do possess power. I was telling you had power. I was giving you power. I wasn't taking it from you. I was saying use your power for what you know what I'm saying, and don't give away your power for any old nigga and then start complaining about, oh, this a bum ass nigga later. That's all I was trying to say. That's all I was trying to say. You gave away your pussy, and then now you're gonna call the nigga a bum later on. You know what I'm saying? Here you go.
Hey, Erica, this how brothers get a sister the game. That's all. This how brothers get a sister the game. I mean, it sound rough, but that's how brothers get a sisters the game.
Yeah, but that's the same type of topics and statements that get translated to men as, oh, I got to defeat her. I got to humble her. I got to get as much pussy as I can so she don't think that she's more powerful than me.
No,
I didn't say nothing like that.
That's the mindset of the men that hear what you said. And see, Ewok, my first concern is my question to you, Ewok, directly would be,
yes, ma'am.
Correct me if I'm gonna ask you this. What was your views on Kamala Harris? Or was you one of the ones that was on the boat that agreed that a woman shouldn't be in a position of presidency, but yet
I voted for her because I voted for what I thought was what was best. You know, sometimes I'm not gonna look into her history. I don't give a fuck if she slept with white people and if she slept her way to the top. I voted for what I thought was best for me and the rest of the country. So yes, I cast my ballot for her because I thought she was the better person. That's it as well.
I want to say this too. We should, the lesson that we all should.
That was kind of an inappropriate and a private question, even that.
Well, hold on, Ace. First of all, you should know sex is very dangerous. Look at Cesar Chavez. Look at Bill Cosby. Look at the price men pay way down the line for inappropriate attitudes towards sex, right? Like to utilize position or power or influence to have a woman submit to you just to say, hey, I got some. Now we live in a society where 40, 50 years later, your ass can still be held liable and it can ruin your life, right? They was cutting down Cesar Chavez statue in front of Cermak 10 minutes after the news came out. And I'm like, wait a minute.
I saw that.
I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Like, first of all, how do we even know if this is true? Listen, if that woman was victimized, God bless her, and anybody who's been victimized. But it was like the accusation for a man is damning, it's detrimental. So that should be a lesson for us as men to be a little bit more careful. But the nature of us is that always is this kind of X factor.
I need Erica to know that nothing that I said was intended to be disrespectful. I was just trying to show you how the game of chess is played and shit, if it's played correctly, you know what I'm saying? And you do have the power. I was giving you the power. I wasn't taking it away from you. Don't think I was taking power away from you by saying what I said. Huh? What she said?
Erica,
I'm talking to my dog. But you don't. So from my perspective in life, only God has the ability to give me any of the power that I have. You don't have that authority over me to give me any power or tackle.
I am God. I'm the essence of God. So there you go. You want to get into that type of conversation? Then come on with it. How you gonna tell me
But
that
this
I
is
don't
why
got no
I tune
authority?
out when people like you talk. I listen when Dion speaks.
People like me.
I listen when Kevin speaks. I listen when Kamar speaks.
You listen
when
to the
Ian
Bible.
speaks. But when you get to talking, I tune out because you
because you're emotional.
turn around and
because
say,
you're an
I didn't mean to
creature.
say it like that. And now you're trying to insult me.
No, I didn't. I still didn't insult you. You still don't like. You don't like nothing. You just emotional than a motherfucker because you a woman.
You can't say that because I agree with a lot of the things that Kevin says. I agree with a lot of the things that Dion says, but because I don't agree with you,
you don't get to pick and choose what you dislike and like and shit.
How I don't get to pick and choose when this is my life, sir?
But if it's the truth, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You don't get to.
The truth to who?
You? Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Can I intervene? I'm gonna just be like this. I'm gonna be like, hey, you like steak, right? You like steak, right? All day.
All right. Well, if somebody served that shit to you on a garbage can lid, is you gonna eat it?
Oh shit.
That depends on how hungry I'm at. It depends on how hungry I'm at. Shit, I eat the fuck out of that motherfucker.
Mine's always a problem when I call presentation. Because, I mean, we got to understand the difference between the fellas having the conversation. I think the fellas having the conversation.
Okay, well, I want you to tell me what I said that was so wrong. Why? I want a man's opinion. What did I say to Erica that she's so upset about? What did I do? I'm listening to it. I'm listening to it as a man. So, I mean, I don't,
Hold on. What she said was your perspective on saying that the vagina is this powerful thing, and it could be utilized to.
I can't hear all of y'all. I can't hear all of y'all give me the answer at the same time.
This is. I'm
trying
to explain it. Ewok, I'm trying to explain it.
Okay,
what she was saying is your perspective on saying that this is the most powerful thing in the world, and if women did this, then they could influence that. She was saying that she felt like that kind of thinking is archaic and that it gives vagina too much power over the actual woman. Like you're discounting the woman and just saying, well, it's just all about her vagina. And so it's like objectifying a woman once again to say you ain't no better than the sum of your private parts. And Erica's on the line. So if I'm wrong, Erica, please step in and explain to him what was it about what he said?
Kev, you headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that wasn't my. And I explained that already. I said that wasn't my intention. But guess what? God made the world this way. I didn't. I'm just the essence of God. You know what I'm saying? And all men like pussy. Period. If men didn't like to get none, wouldn't none of us be here? God damn it. Period. If everybody turned into motherfucking dykes and motherfucking faggots today, it wouldn't be nobody here in less than 80 years for the whole earth that don't have no people on it. Now, do that make sense? Yes. Men see coochie more than women want dick because that's the way it is. That's the way God made that shit, God damn it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to think rational instead of emotional.
Come on, man. First off, if God made it that way, why would he have the whole law against fornicating? If God designed it for all of us to be just out here passing our pussies and our dicks around like it was bread at the fucking table,
all I said was,
why would he make it that way? It's not that way.
Well, hold on,
sexual drive is a man's sexual drive is more powerful than a woman's and shit because of the simple fact that we got to keep dropping seeds. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you alive, because your daddy wanted some pussy from your mama.
My daddy was a pimp, just like you, big dog.
And guess what? He wants to put you in one of his hoes killed him.
Don't make me mute the phone, y'all. Hold on. I want to read the comment from Mama Jenkins. She said, Erica, I respect you and your thoughts, but me as a woman, I know exactly what he's saying. My mother always told us your coochie is a peacemaker, money maker, baby maker, and a life tool. You do whatever you choose to do with it. It's her opinion only, she said. Now I do got some comments, so hold on, y'all. Let me get my chat room up to date. I do want to say it didn't take Outlaw Radio long to be back to doing what Outlaw Radio does, judging by stations. So shout out to everybody who's on the panel, right? Messy Monday type shit. How you doing, Miss Sonia Thrower? She said, wow, what's going on here? I'm late. Earl Henning says, sound like they are maintaining their love for each other.
Yes.
Earl Henning also said, pussy can get your rent paid. And Sonya Thorne's laughing at that. Listen. She said, where y'all been? Kerry Walker Jones, how you doing? The show was on hiatus. I was dealing with some old man stuff, man. I got a bad back, y'all. So anytime you don't see the show on more than a week at a time, is because I'm on rest. So I just been, and I wanted to come back at the right time. It's been a lot going on. I see a lot of people with platforms talking about a lot of different things. So I just been watching that, saying, okay, where does Outlaw Radio fit in at? Where do we put it back? When do I bring it back? And I think tonight was probably a good time to bring it back. The timing was good. Go ahead, Kamar.
Kev, I want to commend you for being a good host. You know what I mean? You know, I say it all the time. I've been around and different people, they don't know how to moderate the show right. They don't know how to allow people to talk, to get a chance for people, let people to get a chance to talk without getting cut off and all that shit. Like, dog, it makes a huge difference. You know what I'm saying? It makes a huge difference. That's something that I just learned. You know what I mean? Watching them, trying to watch podcasts intentional also about me. I talk too much sometimes.
Thank you for the compliment.
But yeah, it's a compliment to you, dog.
I don't, you know what?
You do a good job moderating this shit.
I always look at it like this. There's conversation and then there's talking. There's a difference between the two. Conversations are two-way. There's listening and then there's contribution, right. There's contributing. So either I'm having a conversation with somebody or I'm just talking to them.
Hey.
And it's very annoying to talk to somebody who ain't really trying to converse with you. They're just talking to you. They don't want your answer. They don't want your input. They just want you to shut the fuck up and listen. And it's a difference between that.
And it's even harder. It's even harder.
My fault. Hey, I thought I did a good job because I asked questions, and then I let her speak her mind, and then I explained it. You know, I didn't cut nobody off.
You did well, Ewok. Congratulations to you too.
No, that wasn't.
I wanted to know. Hey, what did I say? What is wrong? What is wrong with what I did? What is wrong with what I said? You know, that was a question. And I sat back and I waited.
And she answered it. She gave you an answer. She spoke to it.
Right.
There was no.
I think she's just not used to hearing fellas talk to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Erica been listening to Outlaw Radio for years.
Wait, don't say that because I've been watching. Thank you, Kevin, for taking the words out of my mouth. I've been in this show, watching it, listening to it, learning from this show for many, many, many years, bro. Don't do me like that. Like,
I ain't trying to do it disrespectful. I don't know.
Also, not only that, I used to be in the man caves with my uncle, bro. After my daddy was killed by one of his hoes, I was in the man cave with my uncles. Rest all they souls, because they done made it to ages where they not here no more. So I've been in the man cave. I can hear and listen. A lot of what I know, the game that I see and the discernment that I have come from the men that I listen to. But I do have a strong discernment. And when somebody is objectifying me because of how good my coochie is, I'm not trying to hear that shit. Because I'm way more than just some pussy.
And then on top of
that, no, I didn't take nothing personal. Like I told you, only God can give me the power that I have. Hold on, Kev, let me get this out. Because if I was a weak woman and I listened to anything that Ewok had to say today, I would have walked away from this conversation hating myself and indulging in self-sabotaging behavior. And then you wonder why these females is talking about, oh, is you finna pay my rent? I need my car note paid. I need money. I need my nails done. Because somebody told them that in order for you to be a qualified woman, your pussy got to be top notch or you got to make a nigga pay for it.
Erica, you on a whole different motherfucking talking level or a whole different conversation.
Ewok, I think, Erica, the thing is when you respond sometimes to the things that are said, it sounds like you moving your neck and rolling your eyes. No,
I am a black woman.
Right. It sounds so men respond to that like, damn, she's snapping on me. Like she's angry. She's
But no. She's changing the subject though, Kev. You know what I'm saying? She's changing everything that I said. I was basically comparing, you know what I'm saying, pussy to a chess game, and she took it to a whole different other place, you know what I'm saying, out of emotions.
How are you telling me what I did?
Because I know what you did.
I just don't agree with what you said. I have the right to disagree with what you said.
You don't have the right to change the subject and
Now
make it
you're trying
into
to tell
something
me
else.
what? Okay, I'm finna hang up here because I can't.
Well, I want to shout out. I want to
Stay
shout
on the
out.
phone, babe.
I want to
It's
shout
good.
out Kerry
Just stay
Walker
on the phone.
Jones.
You steady trying to tell me what to do.
I want to shout
No,
out
I
Kerry
want you to
Walker
stay on the phone
Jones.
because I love you.
I want to
You my
shout out
sister.
Kerry Walker Jones because she said it's nothing better in regards to Outlaw Radio. Shout out to Mama Jenkins. She said, "Speak truth. I missed Outlaw Radio Monday and Wednesday were not the same." And Sonia Thrower said, "Oh, I need to get in on that conversation and stuff." And then Earl, my guy Earl Henning, man. Earl is Earl. Earl says free pussy for all who want it. I don't.
No doubt. Yeah, it still costs $40. It still costs.
Oh God, he know the prices.
What? This might be the most times I've ever said the P word in the history of this show. I don't think we normally don't use the P word that much. I wanted to get back to the nuts and bolts though of what's going on in our city. Because so we have a debacle with the Office of Improvement and whatever. I don't even know what the name of it is.
Violence prevention.
Yeah, well, that's what it used to be called, but now it's wellness and something else. And so the Common Council put the kibosh on the appointment of a new director, and that's something else that happened while we were on hiatus. Is that Adam Porcel actually stepped down, and it was because of he was never supposed to have the job. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. He was never supposed to have the job because of his felony, his murder, which was something that was kind of like the reason why the mayor said he hired him is because he had, done this crime and gone to jail and paid his debt and come home and changed his life. And then they said, well, he was never supposed to be appointed. And we kept asking the whole time where he was, because for the last 6 months of the year after his appointment, we didn't see him. We didn't see the work that was being done. Not to say that there was none, but we didn't see any work, the work that was being done by the Office of Violence Prevention. But then now we see that they were going to hire a new director, and they put the kibosh on it, saying, no, it's our alder person, Charlene Moore. She says no. They weren't sure that she was the right person because they asked her in an interview what was the number one cause of death for young people, and I guess it's gun violence, but she didn't know that. So they said we don't even know if she's qualified. So this office still has no director. So we don't have to ask the question anymore, where is this at? Because we see that even with the teen takeover, this is something that these people will be useful for, right? To be able to get in there and mediate with the leaders of our young people who are organizing these takeovers. This would be something that they could be entirely instrumental in trying to figure this out. And Kamar just stated that there's been another, and this time there's a shooting involved with another teen takeover. So I don't know. So, but my thing is, our mayor has been allowed to get away with not having answers for anything. There's no economic development, and now the whole violence, which is a big issue in our city, there's no real plan to deal with the violence in our city either. So I think I seen him on some other stuff, signing some stuff, getting in bed with some people for some programs through MPS, which is also MPS. Since we were on hiatus, MPS has also come apart at the seams. $40 million budget deficit, laying off 200, cutting 200 positions within MPS after the school year's over. $1.6 billion budget, still $40 million budget deficit and this is post $252 million referendum that we just gave them a couple years ago. So there's more of the same of nothingness in our city. So is it a mystery why the kids are having issues, why the community looks like it does when the leadership structure in Milwaukee is so damn ineffective and so damn fraudulent? Like, this next election, I'm far be it from me to hate on another black man, but I'm gonna need our mayor to be held accountable for the direction of this city. Like, my brother, man, little buddy.
Well, he's worried about giving out emancipations to entertainers that ain't gonna never come back to Milwaukee again in their life.
Yeah, where's Snoop when you need him, right? Like we.
Well, he just gave another one a new edition.
He had a Trump rally.
Did New Edition get one? Did they get a proclamation? Okay. Yeah, it was New Edition Day, right? It was. They gave him a day, right? Which is okay.
The niggas from Milwaukee. I'm sorry.
I don't know at this point if he's even concerned anymore, because can somebody tell me something that he's done since he's been mayor that has actually worked?
Oh, you asking hard questions right now.
His appointees have all been like,
He's
what
a
has
groupie.
worked? And what I mean,
He's a groupie.
I don't know.
He's getting along, go along, man. That's all I can say.
I don't know. I'd like to know what his plan is. Like, bruh, what are you doing? Like, this city is falling apart at the seams. And I know as a black man, what you're doing is, and the next time a black man who wants to run to be mayor, he's going to be held responsible for you. Like, they're going to say, well, the last time we had a black man, look at what happened.
It ain't even going to be fair, bro.
So I'm just like, I look every day. I'm looking. I'm going through social media. I'm going through the newspaper. I'm watching the news. I'm trying to see where our mayor is saying, you know what? There's a need for leadership. We have a vacuum on leadership right now, and our common council don't even seem to be no better. Like, what are they doing? What?
The true question. I mean, what does he have the power to actually do? And if he's trying, is he being blocked? I mean, there's so many different questions you could ask in that situation, because once you get into the political arena, his people over him, I don't.
Well, let's not give him the Obama excuse, because we know everybody gave Obama an excuse. Well, he couldn't do nothing because they wouldn't let him. Our mayor is a little bit more. He's a little bit more singular than Obama, because Obama had to answer to the House, to Congress, and Senate. Our mayor doesn't. Like, if he can come up with plans for governorship, like to say, hey, let's get some economic development for different parts of the city. Let's come up with comprehensive plans to combat the violence and the poverty. He can do that. He can do those things. Like, it's just not. I haven't heard the suggestion of policy that's progressive. I haven't heard him come up with anything that's to say, man, that's a good idea. Why don't we do that?
Why doesn't he hire a consultant? Anything.
He may have consultants, but what are they for? Are they for the continuous development of downtown? Like, you're building up a downtown area for a city that no one wants to come to.
That's a good ass
tourism. Tourism, is that your plan? Like, because if he's saying, well, the way we're going to achieve economic empowerment is to increase the amount of tourism. Well, nobody wants to come to Milwaukee. Nobody nationwide. I see people, celebrities and athletes diss the shit out of Milwaukee all the time. Like, nobody wants to come here I want to go to chill on Lake Michigan. So that money's not coming. Because economic development is key to development. Like, if you want to combat poverty, there has to be economic development. That will bring the crime down, right? But I don't see it. Where is there the jobs? Where's the jobs, the viable jobs coming to the community? Where are they coming from? But what is the city doing to empower it? All I see them doing is coming up with more ways to penalize us. We're going to enforce more parking rules. We're going to raise your property taxes. We're going to raise the sales tax. We're going to increase the cost of living in a city that nobody wants to live in. To me, that's a shitty plan.
You actually brought up something. I'm going to go to,
because I mean, this is going on around the country. So essentially, with the gentrification is kind of coming here already, because you look at what's going to happen. They're going to drive the cost of the market down, so those people can come in and buy it cheap. And then I
don't even think gentrifiers want to live here, though, Ace. I think they looking at it like.
I hear what you're saying, but once that price go down so low, you're gonna see these people flocking in here, and basically with that, you're gonna start seeing, and you've already seen it. They've already started moving us out to Northridge Lakes and the Meadows and shit like that. They want the inner city back. So that's the thing you got to understand. I mean, at the end of the day, how can you counter that?
So,
you know what I'm saying?
So our mayor is basically the champion for gentrification. That will be his. And when we get 20 years in the future, we say, well, what did he do? They say, well, he was one of the main promoters of gentrification. That's his plan.
Well, there was a story, Kevin. You might not remember this because we didn't have conversations, but there is a man who owns a company that I met. He's a right wing guy, and he's talking about exactly what Ace was talking about. And he came to me when I was part of the when I was doing more with the Republican Party back then, and he literally talked about what Dog is talking about. No BS. And he owns like a ton of buildings there. And I told him no because I didn't think that was cool. The first is going to the hood and move shit. But I do want to add one point. Wisconsin's tourist revenue over the past 3 years have been 25 billion per. So Milwaukee's tourist revenue is 2023 was 6.3 billion. So it's interesting that you brought that point up because I think both of you guys have a point. Motherfuckers don't want to move here, but at the same time, when the prices get a certain way, people are going to. And I know that because this gentleman I'm talking about, that's what they've been doing, bro. And I think that he's probably in the pocket, or Mayor, as you say, little buddy, Chevy's probably in his pocket. And that makes sense why he don't have no plans and all this other shit, bro. Drive down the markets like what Trump and them is doing, like make everything piss poor and cheap as fuck, and then all the rich people go in and buy it. It's a brilliant plan if you think about it. It's old school as hell,
It
but
is.
that's probably
And
what they
don't put
doing.
nothing
Yeah.
past APAC, my dude. Don't put nothing past APAC. If you go on the East Coast,
Oh
look at New
shit.
York, New Jersey, it's ridiculous.
Well,
Yeah.
I think one thing that got to be understood is that you can't lock all poor people up. So any gentrifiers that
No.
are going to come here and
No.
occupy these areas that are underserved, they're still surrounded by pockets of poverty. So you're not
Yeah,
gonna have
correct.
no peace. It ain't gonna. You still a long way away from just being able to sit on your porch or work in your garden on your flowers and sit out and have lattes. It's still a lot of crime. It's still a lot of underserved areas, pockets that it ain't that easy to just move these people around. It would be better to come up with a plan so everybody can partake. That's what I'm talking about with economic development.
Yes.
Right? It shouldn't just be, okay, well, we're gonna make this only the highest earning people can live in this area. That's not gonna happen in Milwaukee, because it's always been a situation where we look at downtown where you got a $500 million basketball arena and the projects is 4 minutes away.
That shit wild as hell if you think about it.
So
Well,
you know,
here's the thing.
Miller
And I look at
hold
that
on, Miller Coors learned that lesson when they came here, when Coors, which is South African breweries, by the way, bought Miller.
I thought that shit was sweet.
And what happened? As soon as they had their executives moving here, and a couple of them was robbed and murdered. And so, you know, that was it for that. It was like, okay, well, not yet. And I'm not saying that those people deserve to lose their lives, but I'm saying
No.
it's like, you know, when you run into a super impoverished area and you think we're going to put some rich people over here and let y'all stay starving, those starving people going to be at the gates.
Yeah, they are, like in Detroit.
You're right, but that ain't gonna stop them from trying, Kev. Because I mean, at this point, and I ain't gonna lie, Kev, I feel like both parties is trying to fuck us over, my dude. And I've always said that. I mean, even you look out to California, man. Black unemployment is way up, dude, way up.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just I'm confused as to where to go at this point. Because like I said, I already knew where the Republicans stood.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm looking at what they doing. I mean, they doing with them other folks. They bringing them in.
Shame on people for believing that Democrats loved us so much anyways. Like this is why we don't identify with either side, because I think they're both egregious, right? You know, so, and black people are so confused right now. It's exhausting for me to watch us arguing over this shit. Like I see us on social media arguing about.
It makes you scared to talk about it. It makes you scared to talk about it because you don't automatically be called a sellout.
Well, you got a lot of black conservatives who want to be next level. They want to be next level thinkers, and a lot of them want to be accepted by white people as one of the good ones. And so they will try and identify with black conservatism And it's
Ouch.
really just a new shuffle. It's just a new
I
shuffle.
mean,
You're
you
just
gotta
really
think
buck dancing.
those are your grifters, is what we call them. Your
Ouch.
Anton Daniels, your Cartier family.
I don't know.
Stephen
I'm
A.
still going
Smith.
for Democrats though.
We got
At least
Chili.
the Democrats.
We got Chili from TLC too. Her and her white
Oh,
man.
she backtracked on that today. She was like, "Well, this is what happened. I didn't read the fine print. I didn't realize I was donating
Yeah,
to
she
Trump.
told she
Y'all
did
have
it too
all
fast.
seen them
And that's
letters."
because she finna go on tour. That's because TLC finna go on tour with Salt and Pepper. They don't want them ticket
Dog,
sales.
she's
You
so full of
lying,
shit. It
you
tells you who
lying,
they
bitch.
support when you contribute.
You did that on purpose. Nick
Get out of
Cannon
here.
too.
Well, you'd
On
be
the
surprised
real.
how many wealthy black people are really Republican supporters because the mission of Republicans is to protect the money and to protect their
Yep.
wealth.
They
So a
don't
lot
care
of them
You
are
know
about they
what I
don't care
argue?
about nothing else but they bread. They don't care about shit else, bro.
I,
That's it.
Yeah, they're capitalists. That's what they are. They're
that's
capitalists.
for rich Republicans, but you got these Affordable Health Care Act on ass for white people. It's bums, getting SNAP benefits and all that shit. And talking about like, and this is my whole thing. Where I
Don't
argue with
even
those
get started,
Republicans
D,
that
because I know where you're going. That's you
all I
right too.
all I ask is just tell me a policy. You can go back
Yeah.
to Nixon. You go back as far as you want to. Give me a policy that the Republican Party has passed that was beneficial to the American people, not just black and white. And see, I think with the Democrat, reason we be feeling so hurt by the Democrats because we've been so loyal to them. The
Correct.
things, though, you have to understand, it like you guys have said, it's a lot of progressive and liberal white people. A lot of white people just want to give us enough to keep us off their ass. They don't want
Yeah.
us to have equality with them. Like you guys said, look, they dropping bombs that cost $1 billion every motherfucking day. You feel what I'm saying? And they said that this war, if you go deep into it, it's fucking with a lot of natural resources. It's gonna be messed up. They was just like, y'all just need to prepare. Not panic, but just prepare. Get your little household stuff, your water, toilet tissue, whatever, to stack up on your meats and stuff, because it's gonna be tight out here. You know what I'm saying?
That's truthfully too, D. You got to be careful with that too, because what they'll do is they make money off of chaos, man. They make money off of that chaos. I mean, can it happen? Yeah. Is it likely to happen? I don't know, because they don't want to fuck up their money either. You got to realize we taxpayers. If they do that, we ain't paying shit. We all in the house. You know what I'm saying? You got to realize what they
let me get to my
about.
chat room right quick. This is Carrie Walker Jones. She said these young people suffer from nothing but a lack of self-respect, a lack of respect for others, a lack of standards, and a lack of substance, and a lack of common sense. But guess what? The adults do too. I agree with that.
Yeah.
She says, yeah, I'll be seeing that on the news because I can get the news down here in Camden that don't make no sense. Them young folks, where the parents at, they acting like wild animals. This is her saying, fuck the mayor. He's just a placeholder and fucking up the streets. Earl said getting paid for doing nothing. And Carrie Walker Jones says the Common Council is not doing anything but getting raises and getting whiter. And Eric Hunt says Chevy been on.
They like the Congressional Black Caucus doing the same shit.
She said he been on tour like the rest of so-called leadership, leading, feeding their own ego, and she wouldn't be surprised if he came out with a rap song. Earl Engel says Summerfest. What up, Mariah Johnson, Kerry Walker Jones, Ruben Anderson? Y'all give me a second. I got to step away for a second. Kamar, talk about some of what's going on at the House of Vitality for me.
My bag, I was on mute. Everything is going on at the House of Vitality, y'all. Make sure you come on down there. Come get your immune system together. Just because the weather is changing don't mean you can't get sick. So you need to keep your immune system strong. You need to put some minerals in your body. You need to get your vitality right. So come to the House of Vitality, right? Get it? Man, listen. What else we got going on at the House of Vitality? I know this weekend we got Mr. Courtney. If y'all familiar with Mr. Courtney, he's doing a discussion with the community. You come on in, talk your talk, have your voice heard. We got Brother Doyle stepping in. He's coming in with the every first Saturday. We got the felony expungement and pardons. So, brothers, sisters, if y'all know anybody that needs some help with their felony getting expunged or getting a pardon for their felony, send them down to the House of Vitality next Saturday at 12 o'clock. Brother Doyle Sprue will be in the building. Keep an eye on my page, Kamar Carter. Keep an eye on my page, and you're gonna see flyers. You know what I'm saying? You'll see what's going on. If you forget, you'll see it again. So pretty sure all y'all my friends, right? I don't know. Everybody going off the phone? God damn, Kev left me like this. What the fuck? But y'all just hang out with me, all right? Because I don't know what to talk about right now. Probably just turn into a rant any motherfucking way. The way shit going on in the community. Care what nobody say, man. We got to get these young people to understand there's consequences to the shit they doing out here. Care who you want to blame, the parents, you can blame whoever you want to blame, but still there's consequences to the shit they doing out here. And they need to know that.
My bad. What happened? Did we lose Ian?
No, he tapped out, I think.
Okay.
He came in and then he went out again. He probably be back.
Okay. This is Erica Hunt. She said, "I'm here with you. Just read the comments." Ruben Anderson, what's good, man? No, that was my fault. I had to step away for a second. I had some shit that was going on in the studio. Here's Ian. Okay, so we back full fledged. So okay, Kamar, I heard you going back to the kids, right? And people, you know, I don't think it's out of the norm for people to say, where are these kids' parents at? Right. I don't think
that's the easiest. That's the easiest route
right.
to find somewhere easy to place the blame. You know what I mean?
And hold on, let's be honest. Some of these parents are not where they should be.
You're right. Correct.
Some of them are.
Correct.
Some of them are.
Correct.
And I don't think you're wrong for putting some of the onus on the children themselves, saying you all are making bad decisions, and so you're going to reap what you sow. But I just don't think it should be a point of contention.
They shouldn't make it to where they can't go nowhere without a
I don't think it should be a point of contention. Like they don't want us at Bayshore. They don't want us at Mayfair. It's like I learned years ago. Anyway. I was walking in Mayfair with my son, and my son kind of walked away from me, and all of a sudden he had security saying, you know, who you here with. And I don't go to Mayfair right now, period, because they don't want us out there in Wauwatosa. Our kids have to learn that they are the reason why people don't want them in places. Some of the stuff that they could be having, like sporting leagues, and we want to be able to do events for them, they're not being done because nobody wants to deal with them. They have to understand that their behavior is the reason why they don't have anywhere to go. It's like for a lot of adults in Milwaukee, when they say, well, it ain't nowhere to go in terms of clubs. Well, it's because of what happens at the club. It's because of the violence. It's because of the fights. It's because of people, doing all kinds of.
Here's a way they can blame. Here's a way they can blame the parents and shit. Us, right? Like we started doing all that shit years ago. We started meeting up at the motherfucking mall and then wind up fighting some motherfucking where at the movie theater or some shit. You know what I'm saying? We started a bunch of that shit, man, tearing the clubs up and shit all the goddamn time. You know? So that's why I say again, it was us that made the choices to do the shit we did, to tear the shit up.
True.
You know what I mean? A lot of the time we was going to places with it on our mind. I wish a motherfucker would type of attitude. You know what I'm saying? So what's going to happen behind that? And these kids is doing the same shit because at home, they dealing with parents who with the shits too.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
I think
my bag, I paused for a minute, but I just want to keep building with that. So that's why I say, you know what I mean? We got to put the kids, they understand what's right or wrong. You know what I mean? They just know ain't nothing going to happen to them for doing the shit that they do anyway. So they doing it.
Or I think the question might be, do they care what happens to them?
Well,
you know,
They
when
know
when
it's gonna happen.
when
ain't
I
gotta
look
tell.
at youth, like to me, being young and making mistakes is the same. They go together. It's synonymous. And I think a lot of these young people are looking for something exciting, and to them, the drama's exciting. Like if you watch the video, a lot of them are running to it. Now, what happens that they're going to learn is those police in Glendale and in Bayshore,
Same thing.
or Mayf and Wauwatosa,
They with the shits too.
right? Historically, they have been anti-black, and
Yeah,
for a
they
long
with the
time,
shits
they
too.
have not wanted us in their spaces.
Hell
So
no.
they're going to be more than willing to knock the shit out of you, or sick the dog on you, or spray you with mace, or do whatever. Now, what we can't do, and this is another thing kids have to understand: when you acting like this, we can't do our job as parents and protect you.
Right.
We can't come running to fight you and help. I mean, fight for you and help you because you on some bullshit, right? So our kids have to understand you're putting your parents in a bad situation, because if you out there wilding like that, what can I say? Are they doing them kids wrong? No, they ain't. Those
Right.
kids are getting what they deserve from doing the shit that they're doing.
Yeah.
And Kamar, if you talking about the tough love, like you talking about locking them up, that's what has to happen. Like those, and that's what's going to happen.
They won't let the parents whoop them. They're gonna lock them up.
Well, that's what's going
Well,
to
that's
happen.
we headed
Glendale,
back to the 90s, kid. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Glendale police gonna lock you up.
Yeah.
Brookfield, the Wauwatosa police, they're
I
gonna
always
lock
say
you
you
up.
don't listen. You can listen to me. Your life gonna teach you.
Yeah, well, once some kids start learning, mom and daddy ain't coming to bail me out because
Or
mom and
can't.
daddy ain't got the bail money.
Right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So you sit your ass down there. You can call home
I ain't
crying
gonna lie.
all you want.
Chill.
Think mama gonna come
That's
up
right.
here and cuss the motherfucking police chief out, and they gonna let you out and shit. It ain't
Never
A
gonna
lot
happen.
of these parents ain't gonna do
You're gonna
it.
be
Just
locked
ain't
the
gonna. They
fuck
don't
up
want
in
to
the
deal with
cell
it either.
next to you.
You're gonna be locked up longer.
Ace just made a good point. A lot of the parents, when you ask them where they at the crib. Like, shit, I'm glad he was gone. I'm tired of dealing with his ass around here.
So true.
He won't do shit around here. Let him go. He won't take out the garbage. He won't wash the dishes. Won't clean his room
But
up.
a
Won't go to
motherfucker don't
school.
do shit.
Right. So where the parents at home chilling, right? You know what I'm saying? Like shit.
So funny.
Getting some peace.
Right. They probably done told him anyways. Don't you take your ass out there in Glendale messing with them people. He like, oh man, fuck what they talking about. Till one of them Glendale police officers hit his ass with that nightstick.
Yeah.
Then he go to holler, mama. No, it's too late now. So, like what Kamar is saying is sometimes some people learn more from life lessons than
so
they do
funny.
from a lecture.
Because they don't want to listen to the people in their life.
You don't want to hear no lecture. The police gonna teach you, or the streets gonna teach you. Because when they put your ass in that penitentiary, you're gonna comply. You can be hard as a motherfucker. You gonna comply when you get behind that wall. Walpon is undefeated. There ain't nobody up there.
It ain't all bad sending their ass, they bad ass to prison. I know niggas that
Well,
got
you know what?
got out and turned
And I'm
themselves into
gonna say
millionaires.
this about the prison, man. I was just watching
I got
something
cousins like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
And
Go ahead,
my
Ace.
thing is, I done been
Who's
there,
that?
so I know it can be better for people.
I was just watching something, and I don't know if it was Sweden or something like that, where you go to prison, they actually rehabilitate you. I mean, here the prison is different. I mean, you ask why do a lot of the kids do the things that they do is because of impoverished, where they would have to go in, learn a trade. It wasn't, matter of fact, they could wear their own clothes. They didn't have to wear a uniform. They stayed behind glass doors, So I think a lot of it is mindset too. I mean, a lot of this is by design. You got to realize the United States, they want to have a slave. They want us to always be their slave class. And what do? They're gonna attack the family, basically the kids. Took the father out of the house, and they're gonna deal with the kids. So the only thing we got right now is we have to fix our rehabilitation process to program them right to get out here to be functioning parts of people in society. Because everything, like I said, their whole value is money. Everything is about $1. The woman, everything is about $1. So nothing is about community no more. And see, that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, damn, dude. You walk into a club, You know, especially if it's bumping the rap music, niggas looking at each other. You can't even say what's up no more, man. Motherfucker, the fuck you looking at, nigga? You know what I'm saying? So we got several issues here, man. But this shit is by design.
But
it is by design. I agree 100% with you. That's that slave syndrome I be telling you about.
That's the reason why we shouldn't be arguing with each other over this stuff. Like, we argue, we'll get at each other. Like, we put more passion into trying to be right in a discussion, in a group discussion, than we do into figuring out solutions. Right? Like, I'm looking at, like, there's a lot of meetings that are about to happen. And I'm already seeing them on Facebook. There's a lot of meetings. There are going to be a lot of groups and people in the community and men, black men saying no, but they're going to want to meet. And when you go to these meetings, it's going to be a lot of talking points. It's going to be a lot of speeches. It's going to be a lot of people standing up, saying a bunch of different things. But usually these meetings don't lead to anything. There's really follow-up to it. And then, so what really has to happen is a cultural shift. And I say that to for us to understand as foundational Black Americans is we live in a culture of dysfunction. Like, we have to start straightening out some of the curves. And what I mean by that is we have to start putting an emphasis on building foundations with our children. Like, as a dad, you can't take the first 8 years of his life off and then think you can come in at 14 and dominate him. Now, I'm your daddy. Listen to what I'm saying. Nigga, I don't know you. We have to build foundations with our children, man. You go to these elementary school with these babies, there should be a spirit of let's get a whole new PTA now. Let's start putting volunteers into the elementary schools to work with kids. Like, first of all, literacy, there needs to be a whole new emphasis on literacy for our children. We really got to make sure that they can not just read words, but comprehend the words that they're reading. Culturally, I've heard so many Black people shit on education, period. Black people love to say, I didn't go to college and I'm still successful. Fuck college. Fuck school. Like, I hear a lot of people say that. Fuck that white man's education. A lot of us say that without understanding what the purpose of education is. And the purpose of education is to enable people to be able to comprehend numbers, words, meaning.
Regiment.
All right. Like regiment, like have a kind of routine that you go through on a daily basis, like organization and structure. That is the point of education. A lot of us still don't put a value on that. Like, a lot of us still in our communities, we still think that that's for squares. That's what the white man taught you. If I had $1 for every time somebody told me that, because you got that white man education, and it's comical. Like I tell people all the time, going to college didn't make me smart. I was smart when I went to college. I didn't leave college saying I'm so smart now. I'm so much smarter for what I just learned. All it helped me to do was compartmentalize all of the things that I already knew. And say, damn, I knew that. Oh, that belongs over here. It's just giving you a chance to understand where to put things. And like my man just said, it gave me the ability to know how to keep a routine and be consistent with making sure I'm here, making sure I'm there, making sure that I'm doing this and following up on that. So we got to have a cultural shift, and we got to stop being so anti. And it's hard in this world because America treat us like redhead stepchildren. And Black people be like,
we treat each other like that, we treat each other like that. That's the problem.
Black people be like, fuck everything.
I was gonna say, just for context, so people can really understand what you're talking about. Like, not being funny, these are simple Google searches. If you have a college degree, and this is just in the AI overview, you generally make $1 million more over the course of your life than someone that doesn't have it. Doesn't mean you cannot be successful. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't be like, man, I didn't go to college, but all my kids do. You know what I'm saying? But my kids are in college and they're in the best schools. I had a completely different life. But yes, that is laughable when I hear that. When they're like, man, I didn't go to college, man. I'm still successful. Yeah, you like the 1%. Yeah,
and Ian, college ain't for everybody either. I want people to understand the traditional liberal arts college or university ain't for everybody. But
No.
education
No.
is more than me just going to a liberal arts college. Like there's
Yeah.
vocational information. There's all
Yep.
kinds of ways to become informed and to try and refine yourself and develop some skill.
Yes, and I
So
have
that's
like
what I
50
mean.
different certifications,
Right. Like
in regard to mental
MACC
health.
got
I look
everything.
at it like
Yeah.
this. I look at it like this, Kev, and I ain't gonna lie. I've done well, but I'm gonna be honest with you. The field that I went, I didn't need a college. I didn't need a college degree to do it. You know,
Especially in
there's a lot.
IT.
There's a certain percentage of us that have done it and have done well. You know, without the fucking loans, because that's what that was all about. As a matter of fact, sometimes your college degree can work against you when you're trying to get a job, because they're looking for what you call a greener employee, meaning somebody stupid enough to take some bullshit pay, you know, to do a top notch job. You get what I'm saying? So there's two ways you can look at that. I mean, if you know what you want to do, as far as, and then that's why I say the trades is where to go now, man, because they shit on the trades for so long, not understanding
I
you
shouldn't.
can go with trades.
I hope that I put an emphasis on the word education over just college. I probably shouldn't even put college in it because that's just a part of it. Education is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about education. I'm talking about the ability
I know what you meant.
to read and comprehend words and to understand how to balance your checkbook and how to count and how to have critical thinking skills. I don't want to put college on it like that's the cherry on top.
That's a must.
But I do think college has its advantages, but the debt that's associated with it right now, that is very, very true. It's very, very detrimental. And that's something that they did because so many poor people started to get access to it. So you say, okay, if you really want access to it, you're going to carry some debt with it. But I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I know people who will go to a high interest, take out a high interest loan on a car that lasts 2 years and owe for the rest of their life on it. But to tell me they won't do a student loan as an investment on their self, right?
That shit sound wild.
People always talking about debt, and then they'll go get a mortgage, a 30-year mortgage on a house that ain't even a valuable asset, right? And then lose the house and still owe for it, and then tell me I wouldn't take out no loan on no education for myself. So you're gonna have some debt unless you wealthy. You're gonna have some debt, but just choose what debt you want to take on. I invest in myself. I choose to invest in myself over any other thing, right?
But it's good debt and bad debt.
Well, some people feel like I don't want that debt. I don't want that debt, and that's fine for that person.
So some of these motherfuckers do not have financial literacy.
Out here, so I cheated the
Jesus
system.
Christ.
What I did, I racked up $80,000 in college loans. Got me in. You can't fucking bankrupt the college loan. So I got me American Express. I had Capital. Well, I had several credit cards. I swiped the shit out to motherfuckers and went bankrupt and got rid of that debt. 2 years, you back right. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what you got to learn how to beat the system, man.
I tell you what, as long as I owe you, you'll never be broke. So if I go to college, all the degrees I have, whatever I owe for them, if I never get a job that enables me to pay those loans back, they won't get paid back. It don't bother me at all. You can take it out my ass when I'm dead. I don't.
You say it of them. They ain't gonna tell you how to do it, and that's what a lot of these white folks do, man. See, that's how they stay on top.
Trump.
Truthfully speaking, you know what, dude? I just put out a video with this Jewish man, basically telling you how Jews make their money. Basically, they only put down the down payment on a house once, and every other house comes from that other property.
Capital gains.
We have to know how to navigate your finances. Teach you how to make your money work for you.
Yes, capital gains.
Mama Jenkins is saying, when I was talking about there being a meeting, first of all, Earl Henning is saying it's going to be a meeting about a meeting. And she said the meeting needs to be with the leaders of the gathering and find out why they're having these takeover calls. Leaders in Milwaukee is like, who would be at that meeting? Like,
I have no idea.
Who are the leaders? Who are the leaders in this city? I don't consider myself a leader. I like to know who they are. I really
Kevin,
would.
I hate to say it, you may not consider yourself one, but by you having this platform, I'm sorry to say, brother, you a leader.
It's also a platform that nobody else holds. Nobody invites me to shit. They don't reach out to Outlaw Radio and say, "Hey, Kev, we doing this or we doing that." Nobody, and they don't regard me as I'm outside the circle of even black media in this city. Like WNLV and the Truth and all of those. Those are the
I'll
people
ask
who.
you. Hold on. I'll present it to you a different way. Why would they, considering the fucking culture in Milwaukee? Why would they invite you to anything? Not being funny. They shouldn't. That'll be crazy for their brand. You know what I'm saying? Why would they do that?
We
So just
talk
be
about
comfortable
real
in their
shit,
world.
though. That's the thing. We talk about
Yeah.
real
No, I'm
shit.
saying,
And a
yeah,
lot-
I'm saying that's why I don't consider myself a leader. Nobody's referring to me to say, "Hey, Kev, come to this conference and let's talk about this or let's talk about that." I'm not included. I don't have that
Oh, of
kind of
course not.
influence in this city. That's why I don't
They not
consider
leaders
myself.
though.
I mean, who are they? Who are the leaders?
Exactly. People like
I don't
you.
know. I don't know. Is the
People
Homer
like
blow?
you are a leader. That's the point.
I mean, within my
Is it
house,
Homer blow?
is it?
Who else is there? Who on W? Who on V1? Is V100 still down there?
Yeah, but nobody at V100 is a leader. That's just.
I feel like
I don't know. I know Homer here. I mean, he's the only one I know. That's the only reason I see
Well,
that.
you got
I
your
say this
Tory
because
Lowe, you got your Homer Blow, you have who else is a
Well, you got to talk about what kind of leaders.
well
You know
leaders
what I mean?
that,
If you're gonna say your leaders need to get the leaders need, well, which leaders?
Man.
community leaders. I don't
You
know.
know what I mean? Because you got to talk about which leaders. Because even a lot
that's
of the
it, Kamar.
community, a lot of the community leaders ain't solid.
That's why I asked the question. Who, if we're gonna say we're gonna have a meeting and we want all the main leaders there, who
Right.
the fuck is coming? Because we just talked about the mayor. If we want him to come, what is his? You gonna say, okay, we got our mayor here. Mayor, please enlighten us. And he gonna look at you and say, about what, motherfucker? I came here Homer Blow.
Somebody posted
Please
it.
help us.
Man, 'cause he gonna
Somebody
get
posted
grilled.
earlier.
He ain't trying to come to no
Please help
shit like
us,
that.
sir.
Erica
Somebody
Hunt is
posted.
back in the chat. Is back on the line. Erica, what's going on?
Man, I just want to give my opinion about who the leaders are. And right now, all you gotta do is check your timeline. They being tagged in these conversations. They being tagged.
I mean, who are they?
The people you mentioned: Homer Blow, Tory Lowe, Bon May. Who else is everybody's favorite activist in Milwaukee?
Frank
And
Nitty.
these been the same people. Frank Nitty, all of them.
Frank
So-
Nitty,
They
ain't
better
he
not take.
somewhere?
Frank Nitty better not go.
He's in like
Yeah, I don't think that'd be because you're gonna have old boy
Come
there.
on, crazy.
he's in like
He
DC.
said that nigga better not show up nowhere
Why?
near
I
that
mean,
got-
convention.
I say that, I only say that
No,
because
for real.
I only say that because it's too
I'm
much
cracking jokes.
controversy. God damn, can I talk? I only
Go
say
ahead,
that.
come on.
I only say that because it's too much controversy around his name. You know what I mean? We don't need that, and that ain't
No.
our fault. That's his fault from the shit what he did in the past.
Well, there's okay. So to me,
I'm not walking behind dude. I'm not following dude.
well, to me,
I don't like I said, how can you even be a leader if you don't live here? If you don't live here anymore,
well, there's
you don't
I
live
done
in
watched him on
there's-
video call women bitches to their face. I'm not following him. So
There's-
like you gotta that's what I say. You got to be watch who the fuck you think is a leader.
there's what I call in Milwaukee name brand Negroes. And so in Milwaukee, your name is your name. And so we have some people who have names that bring followers. And so I say, who are those people? Because if we're going to have these meetings in which change is going to come from these meetings, we got to get those people who have an influence. They need to speak to what the issues are. The problem is a lot of times the people who have names in this city don't have merit, meaning you got a name, but you don't have a clue about how to come up with solution for these problems, because I can't think of one leader in this city who has an answer for economic development or who can tell us how do we repair MPS, meaning how do we get our kids to go back to school, right? Like now there's somebody who holds a position within MPS who has a string of letters behind their names, I'm sure. But I'm talking about real leaders. We just lost Jesse Jackson, right? While we were on hiatus, right? And a lot of people had their opinions about Jesse Jackson, and he talked about, you know, what he did do, what he didn't do, and you know, people said he got Martin Luther King killed and all this kind of stuff. But Jesse Jackson was the definition of what you call a leader. He is somebody who, when you invite him to these meetings, he's going to bring something to contribute and try to come up with a follow-up. Now, it didn't always go that way, and I think that's where Jesse kind of went off the tracks and said, I'm done with this shit. So we look at the minister. We look at Minister Farrakhan right now. How come we don't have people like him able to come and speak to the masses? Because we're so divided that you're going to have a group of people who say, I'm not going because I don't like his message. I don't support the Nation of Islam, so I'm not going to go. I'm not going to partake. So who are the leaders in Milwaukee? Who downtown on the Common Council is a leader? Who within MPS is a true leader? Or is it our elected superintendent? She ain't from here. And she's only here to deal with MPS's issues. She's not a leader. So who do we sit down with at a table and say, hey, y'all, we're about to start moving towards solutions for our young people? And shout out to my boy, Walter Lanier. I see he has Black Men Organizing. And I think he does a lot, but they do a lot of meetings. They meet a lot. But what's to come of these meetings? Like we still have brainstorming breakfasts. Breakfasts. I just made up a word. Breakfasts is plural. What comes out of these brainstorming breakfasts? Like what? I don't. Where is the solutions? We have elected officials. Most of those aldermen who have wards all have the same issues in their wards, in their districts. None of them come up with solutions. They just keep the status quo. You go to your meeting, you sit on your community, and you ask for the people to vote for you again. They vote for you again. And it's the same old, same old. Like you taking somebody who make $95,000 a year, but they're over one of the poorest areas of the city. How in the hell can they come up with solutions for those people? They don't even live on the same planet.
Nope.
They don't understand that struggle. So Milwaukee is devoid of leadership, and our mayor is not helping. He's not, because he's not a leader. He's not a polarizing figure. One thing you can say about Jesse is Jesse was a polarizing figure. He could show up and people would come because they knew when they asked Jesse a question, he was going to give them some kind of answer. It didn't always make sense. You know, he rhymed a lot, but he was a leader. Jesse Jackson was a true leader.
Run, Jesse, run.
Right. You know,
I remember when he ran for president.
Like, and that's why I miss somebody like Mike McGee Sr. And I seen, shout out to his son who's putting up the footage of him fighting on Jerry Springer. Because he was actually the first person to fight on Jerry Springer, fighting white supremacists. And that's all over Facebook right now. But one thing about the commander was he was a leader. He was polarizing, right? You could bring him to the table. He was going to have something to contribute, and he was going to have the forthwith to follow up behind it to say, yeah, we just met about this. Let's make something happen.
He was a real dude. I like him.
Yes, he's probably the most incredible black leader we've had here.
Whatever happened to his son? Whatever happened to his son?
Which son?
Mike McGee Jr.
Mike McGee Jr. is out here. He's still out here in the community doing things, working with kids. He still has his movement. But I think he learned a lesson from his dad in that sometimes when you build up momentum and you those cameras and you build up that press, you can't always count on your people to support you, because the reality is they did a redistricting of Mike McGee to get him out of office, senior. I mean, and then he ran for, I think, the county board, and we didn't support him. He didn't get elected. So sometimes you put all this into fighting for a group of people who really don't hold you down when it's their turn. But we need.
So basically, we a lost cause, kid. That's what it sounds like.
Well, it ain't over till it's over, right? And this shit's far from over. Right, because we got another election coming up. Now, are we going to remember all of this ineffectiveness and all of this fractured, useless waste of time that we've been forced to deal with as citizens, or are we going to just go vote for him again because he has a name and because he's black? You know, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And so a lot of us are just going to say, I'm voting for the black dude But in this case, we need to be looking at who the next candidate is. We need to be right now looking for a viable candidate to run against him. That's what we need to do.
Very true.
And so we got DC running for governor. And my question is, can the state of Wisconsin, or will the state of Wisconsin really come together and vote? Can they get past his skin color? Because this state is 85% white. So the trick ain't getting us black people in Milwaukee to vote for you. It's getting those people in northern Wisconsin, in western Wisconsin, in the upper peninsula. That's white world. This is a 85% white state. Can we get to the point where they vote for him? Right? Like even as the county supervisor, is he the leader? Is he a leader? I believe DC has leadership skills. I believe he's somebody who could be invited to the meeting. But who else? The Sonia Thor is laughing. She said crickets. Who's the leader? She says in the chat room, she's laughing. She says, let me pull up her comment. She said, I can come back home and be a leader and tell the kids to sit their asses down. It's a joke.
Hell no.
Hey, listen, that's what, okay, so my thing is, the people who are gatekeepers here underestimate the intelligence of the black people here, because they think we are not ready for a stone to the bone, stomp down real live leader who's going to tell it like it is. They want you to be user friendly. They want you to be political party friendly. They want you to be friends with the Democrats. The biggest mistake that Milwaukee black media makes is to think that we ain't ready for somebody to come in and be an ass kicker with this microphone. And as soon as I was in my meeting with WNOV, which has since been bought out from the original owners, and rest in peace to Gerald Jones.
Oh yeah.
As soon as I said I was nonpartisan and I wasn't a Democrat or a Republican, I might as well have walked out that meeting. I was done after that. They never spoke to me again. And this is after being, we like what you're saying. We like what you do. We like how you present. As soon as I said I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, that was it. Not understanding that Milwaukee is ready for someone who says, fuck both of these parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milwaukee is ready for that.
That's what we need. That's what we need, because I'm tired of getting suckered by them blue motherfuckers, because they'll say you dream like a motherfucker, boy, and they smart about it. They smart as a motherfucker, man.
They be pimping.
I mean, huh?
Well, you want to put the right people in place. I understand that.
Yeah, because we don't need no. I'm sorry, Kev. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you didn't. I was about to read Erica Hunt's comments. She said, remember, it's hard to other people on the panel when you call in. I'm not me. No. Not me. Look, we did a WNOV. Kamara, remember you, myself, and Liz Brown with the WNOV, and we had a beautiful time at NOV, and the audience was super responsive to us. Mm-hmm. They were actually calling in saying, this is a breath of fresh air. We love this.
That's sad. Right?
They loved it. We got such a positive. I had people to join in and start listening to Outlaw Radio because of what we did that day.
That's sad.
And WNOV was not smart enough to say, let's bring them back, because we didn't fit into their format.
They was getting money from the Democratic Party.
Of course. Yes, of course.
All day.
We don't need no more. We don't need to be bought up by no AIPAC, no Democratic Party. We don't need no more Dr. Umars. We just tired of being con, man. Or at least I am. I'm tired of everybody. It's like we so fucking gullible to everybody because we looking for hope so bad. We want somebody.
He said he's tired of everybody.
Yeah, man. We get suckered by these fuck ass parties. The Republicans, the Democrats. You got motherfuckers like Umar. You remember the whole revolt shit with Puffy and all them, man. I remember Killer Mike and them was up there. I mean, they were saying some good shit, but the very fact is, they called him what they called him talking on the phone. I'm talking about how much money they can make just from that. So they was focused on the money. They wasn't focused on the issues. You get what I'm saying? And see, that's the problem.
Erica Hunt says, I respect the Jerry fight because he fought for a real reason. But the downfall of that, Jerry spent his career trying to recreate that viral moment. so he can get paid off dysfunctional people. He did a good job too. I mean, it became the platform to go on if you wanted to fight. It became, but the good thing about Jerry is he didn't just put dysfunctional black people. He put a lot of
He put the
dysfunctional
white people.
poor white
He had
trash
some
too.
trailer
Hell
trash
yeah.
on that
And I remember
bitch.
sitting in North Dakota watching that shit like, it ain't just us. I'm laughing at y'all ass too. Because that's all we did in school was sit and watch talk shows all day. Jenny Jones and Jerry Springer
They
and
had
all
some
that shit.
crazy shit. I remember motherfucker on there. He was a pimp and he was running on his arm. He had no legs. He was running on his arm. And I'm like, damn.
Kerry Walker said, ain't David King running for mayor? He is, and we got to get David King on. Unfortunately,
Governor.
I was
I think he's running for governor.
Okay, you're cool with David King, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's my guy.
You should reach out to him and say we're off hiatus. Let him know we off hiatus. I'm ready for him because he was supposed to come on before my shit went snap, crackle, and pop.
Oof.
Yeah,
that shit sounds painful. Oof.
Yeah, well, it was debilitating.
How long was you at home? Did you like miss a lot of work, or how did that go?
Yeah, I went into a state of nothing. Like I haven't done for the last since January. My mobility has been I haven't done anything really. I haven't done a whole lot. And some of it's just been reflecting because I did the black man kryptonite thing. I lost my brother on Thanksgiving Day, and I didn't give myself any time to mourn my brother. Because for me, I think we have, as black men, especially if you have a family, you got to be strong. And you have to be, the head is, you got to be strong. So I chose to deal with my brother's death the wrong way. I kind of just took it on myself and just said, I'm going to keep moving. I didn't take the time that I should have. Yeah. And it affected everything else in my life. So my health, of course, physically, of course, my health physically, it manifested. Like, okay, well, you ain't going. So my back gave me issues, and then I just sat my ass down. Once my back got bad, I said, you know what? Let me just sit back and reflect and do some observations and try to figure things out. So I haven't done really nothing for the last 2-3 months. It's just now that I'm feeling better and I'm being able to move around again, paying more attention to the things that I need to. Yeah. I've given myself time to reflect on what actually happened. And so now I'm just like, it's time to get back up and get into the fight because you can't lay down forever, right? Sooner or later, you got to get your ass up. So that's pretty much where I've been. In Outlaw Radio, I was surprised at the reaction from a lot of people who've been hitting me like, yo, what are you doing? What's up with the show?
People was hitting me up. I'm like, man, Kev back messed up, man. We'll be back.
There's some people who have been in
that
my
was me, yeah.
I know that was you, but you wasn't the only one, man. I had like plenty of people hitting me up like, what's up, man? Y'all, what's happened to Kev? I'm like, no, man, Kev alive. The nigga still posting. But I was like, his back is fucked up, man. That's all.
Yeah. That's why I say shout out to all the people who just been in my inbox like, yo, is you okay? Like, I'll make sure you all right, first of all, but then they'd be like, yo, what's up with the show, nigga? Like, come on, what you doing?
I need my Wednesday back, nigga.
It was on you, kid. I had to check up on you, make sure you was good, man.
There's a lot of people who inbox me and said, yo, are you good? And shout out to the people who, first of all, said, I want to make sure, forget the show. Are you okay?
Yeah, for sure.
And, so it was that kind of thing. That's why I said, you know what, let me get this thing popping again and get it back up. I still want to make some moves with the show.
Yeah.
But just to get it back going was the main thing. That's why I just decided let's get back on track. But like I said, one thing I learned is I'm not important to, and I'm not a leader, or our platform is not respected in terms of the name brand, the name brands here in the city. Like I say, I don't get invited to these functions. I see people getting credit and props and all kinds of different platforms. They don't include Outlaw Radio, and I think that the socioeconomics and the socio-political nature of the show might be a part of that because a lot of black people don't like to talk about politics. But I think it's conversations that need to be had, and we got to make sure that we have them. But Milwaukee's structure has to change. Sooner or later, we got to get some real leaders, man. We got to get some people in here who care about our people enough to centralize us and say, yo, we can do better. If we're 45% of this city, 48% of this city, like this is a minority majority city now. It makes no sense for us to be in some of the situations that we're in.
Nope.
But as long as we ain't, as black men, we're not in control of our families. We're not in control of our communities. We're not earning. We're not owning. Out of town investors are coming in, buying up shit. And we're not being given a chance by our own city to be included. Now, if you want to be a leader in this city, make noise about that. Like, why is our mayor, who's a black man, not fighting for other black men to be included? Well, part of that is because he's in bed with the occupiers. We know he's beholden to the developers. We know he is, the billions of dollars that's running those machines downtown. And you heard him say he wanted Milwaukee to have 1 million people. Well, we know damn well he wasn't talking about 1 million black people.
I can tell you why the shit ain't working, man. It could be one tick or two. Just eat
No
one
niggas allowed.
I'm gonna tell you why it ain't working, because you know what I'm saying, it goes all the way back to slavery. That motherfucker say boss you sick shit. You know what I'm saying? And individualism. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanna have more than the next person. It's a simple thing. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to sit here and wonder and do mathematical equations and shit around this motherfucker and shit when it's that simple to see that we don't group together until we group together and start putting all our money together and shit, kick the Chinese bitch out the nail shop, you know what I'm saying? Kick the motherfucker out the restaurant that own that motherfucking plaza and do that shit as a group like everybody else do, then that's it, that's all. End of story.
Well,
yeah, we can fix that shit just like that.
I want to say this too.
Yes, sir.
This ain't about our mayor being, well, some people, because black people, we love to call each other names. This ain't about somebody calling him a coon or a sellout or Uncle Tom.
I wasn't talking about the mayor. I was talking about black people.
No, I am just based on all of my criticisms of him. Because you can be an ineffective leader without being an Uncle Tom. You can be not with our best interests and not be a coon or something like that. So I never say anything personal about him because I don't know him personally, but I never make these attacks personal. It's all business. It's
man,
all
fuck that
business.
nigga. Shit. Look, I don't like him. I'm not living in Arizona and shit, nigga. But I was raised in Milwaukee, born in Chicago. Fuck that nigga.
Fuck
He
that
ain't doing shit. Fuck him. Fuck Eric. Fuck. You want to be down with bad boy? Fuck you too. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that nigga. He ain't doing nothing. Why the fuck we gonna sit here and try to give him some extra room to breathe? No, he don't get no free space. He ain't doing shit.
Because he's a man. I don't need to disrespect him to make my point.
Man, fuck that. If nigga a real man that don't do shit ain't no goddamn man.
I can't say he's not a real man. I can say he's an ineffective mayor. He might be the nicest guy in the world, but he's not doing a good job as a mayor of our city.
If you're ineffective, then go be your man somewhere else then, because you don't qualify for the fucking job.
You don't identify as a male. Well, look, Kev, I'm glad you back, man. I tried to stay the duration with you, but I got to get up at 5:45. Love you, boy. I'm glad you back. I'm glad that everybody back talking shit, swallowing spit. You know, I support Ian and Mar, and anybody else that got a platform. And you brothers be safe out here, man. And I'll get up with you Wednesday, Kev. And you just take care of yourself, man. You hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good night, y'all.
All right.
One love. No homo. Good night.
Let me finish this chat room because we ran late anyways. Sonia Thor said, you sit back and watch, you will see everything. I was born there and I was raised there. I'll come home just about every other year. My family is still up there a whole bunch. She said, I'm the type of woman to speak my mind and I speak my piece. Either you like it or you don't, right? I agree with you, Sonia. There's nothing wrong with that. Mike Kimmett in the chat, man, I didn't even see you. He said bullshit. Let me read. I got to make sure I read what this brother put up. This is Mike Kimmett. He said bullshit. Who got money from both parties? He said WNOV got money from both parties. Oh, okay.
Oh, shit. I did not know that.
I didn't know it either. I don't know. I just know I said I wasn't with either one of them and they wasn't fucking with me. So they wasn't fucking with me, Mike. He said when you outclass the so-called masters at a radio station, he said when you outclass the so-called masters at the radio station, you and the crew scared them. Oh, okay. He said we scared them. This is Mike Kimmett. Shout out to Mike Kimmett who got us that
No doubt.
leg.
And you know what? Hey, Kev, you know what I'm saying? I know you're reading your comments, but you know what? That nigga was right. He was right when he said that. That's how shit goes sometimes. Motherfuckers be on that old hating ass bullshit, or they trying to benefit for themselves and they think it's not going to benefit them because, you know what I'm saying?
They don't want to lose their donors.
Well, I don't. He said, well, Mike said we scared him, but I mean, I would think that you want ratings. So if we shook them up, that should have motivated them to say, hey, we got to get these dudes back. Like we want to fuck with these dudes. They chose to just totally ice me out, and then when I did meet with them, they had no interest. Once I said I was nonpartisan.
What they got on there anyway? What they got
all
on
the
there
time,
now?
Kev, you know what I'm saying? That's why Donald Trump the president, because bad decisions got made. You know what I'm saying? Real bad decisions got made. They still making bad decisions. So carry on.
It's all good. I mean, I thank God for, it's not a big deal. I just recognize what it was, and I don't take myself. I don't take myself so serious, like where I'm making a big deal out of it. It is what it is, and maybe one day that we'll be able to come full circle and say, hey, let's get you up here. Let's get you on. It only makes sense to make sense, but we'll see. We'll see. God has a plan.
Yeah.
Earl said he was thinking I got paid off to move around.
You got paid to stop talking.
I wish, Earl. I need that check. I'll take that check. You want to pay me to shut up? I'll take it.
Hey, Kev, I ain't gonna lie. I was thinking that shit. I was like, man, maybe I said something. Some of the people done came down on Kev, like, get that motherfucker off your show.
They done got Kev. They done got Kev.
No, because some people, and then some people might, think you gonna outshine them. You know what I'm saying? And it's all kind of other things. You know what I'm saying? It's all different arrows pointing at one certain thing and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not one thing. It's more than one. You know what I'm saying? They probably think you're more intelligent. Your intellect is better than everybody else. Yeah. They're jealous of that shit. They be on that bullshit, or you ain't talking about what they want to talk about. You gotta put all of that shit into the motherfucking into your intellect, and then make the decision of why the fuck they ain't fucking with you. It's not just one reason; it's multiple.
So let's figure out how to pump the Outlaw radio there and say fuck them.
Well, that
we
has
got
to
figure
be
out how to do.
That has to be on me. If they won't give you something, you got to take it, and so that falls on me to figure out how to make myself, to kick my way into the room. Mike says y'all scared them at WNOV. You were not owned and branded. You were off the plantation and prepared to urge others to leave. They couldn't have that. I don't see why not. I would think that that's what you want. I think that's what's needed. Carrie Walker says she thought
I think you need to do, Kev, though? Fuck them. Nigga, you doing just fine. That shit on your own shit. Just build your shit, what you're doing right now. Fuck them. You don't need them motherfuckers, man.
It is what it is. She said she thought they got me too. I don't know who y'all think these people are who would have gotten to me. Nobody.
Don't question they, Kev. It's entertaining. Don't question the they.
Nobody got to me at all. It was literally me saying, "Oh my God, my back is so messed up. I can't even get into my studio. I can't even walk down the steps to get to my studio. Like I'm not doing it." So it was that, man. And I'm like I said, I'm happy to be back. And
all you need to do is keep doing what you're doing. But you know what I'm saying? And try to get more likes and get whatever and shit, and then you can do better than what the fuck you can do with that radio station ain't shit. Fuck them niggas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This technology.
Hold on, I got a caller. Big Mike is on the line, and before I close it down, I got to hear what he got to say. Big Mike, what it do, man?
Hey, what's going on, Kev? You know what? Let me clarify, Kev. The thing about that is, like you said you would think that they want that, right? But Kev, the thing about that is that you're asking them to actually do right by the community. But this is all about money, man. That was about money. You know what I mean? And like you said, you're not partisan. You don't do the political thing. You know? And that's the thing about it, brother. So when you can't fall in line, what they do is they get someone that can. Like I heard y'all talking about leadership, and when you listen to some of the names, certain people are compromised, man. They're compromised. A leader has to be, I mean, when you think of leadership, you know, even with that, I won't be long, but there are people who are more misleaders than they are leaders. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Word. That's a whole different kind of leadership, man.
Word.
You know?
Word.
And we fell in love with misleaders. Oh, he fought the system. Somebody got their ass whooped last night. And so-and-so came out and he was like, yeah, you can't do this. And, you know, he riled the niggas up. That's just ambulance chasing, brother. We've been doing that for years. When someone comes in, because like it, love it, take it or leave it, when you're talking on Outlaw Radio, man, you're actually talking in between, you know, different things, different things that are being said. Some of it's funny, but a lot of it's real. You have real people having real discussions. You know, when you go to radio stations, turn the mic off on his ass. You know, somebody call in. You know, like, we got to go to break. We got to run the break. You know what I mean? They get their ass off there real quick because it doesn't fit the narrative. Because right behind that is a Bank of America commercial. And we can't upset Bank of America by going too far, you know? And so even when you were there, Kev, you had people calling in like, ooh, man, what a breath of fresh air. Y'all getting it. Damn. And I'm
just like that. Just like he allowed me to speak to Erica Hunt, you know what I'm saying? And I got a chance to explain to her.
Real
no, you know what I'm saying?
Real time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's it, that's all.
But so Mike, and I say this to any and everybody. And I went to my undergrad was for radio and television. What we were taught was if you can go in and then if you can take that microphone and you can present to the point where people understand you and people respond to you, good radio people say, that's who I want on my station. Because that person's going to generate listeners. And so in my mind thinking, I know how we feel as a people in Milwaukee. So I'm going to go in and tell the people's truth, not what corporate America thinks we should say, not what political parties think we should say, but the reality of the conversations that are had amongst us in this community. In my mind, that's what Milwaukee needs right now. That's what the black media in Milwaukee needs.
Hey, Kev, do you think that WNOV is better than what you're doing right now? Because don't nobody even listen to that shit, basically. You know what I'm saying? Nobody even listen to it. So why are you so concerned about them motherfuckers? That's just an honest question that I'm asking you.
It's not there.
Let me stop you, brother. Even though they change ownership, people do listen, man. They listen to that, but there's a particular brand of listening. See, my thing with that, Kev, is this, man. You have a system, like you're asking, wouldn't you want to? Hell no. You know what I mean? Would we want Trump to do the right thing? Hell no, he's not going to do the right thing because it's about money. Everything he's doing is about money. So when you come to a radio station, what happens is I say I'm more concerned with being right than being truthful. You ever talk to someone and they're trying to be right and justify everything they're doing? You know what I mean? But they're not being truthful. You're like, wait a minute, nigga, I see this for what it is. And you're showing them this is what it is. They're saying like, no, nigga, I don't want that. I want to be right. Right to me means.
Hey, fam, what's your name? So I can address you.
Yeah, Mike.
Mike Kemet. Okay. All I'm saying is people really ain't listening to the. I mean, are people really still listening that much to the radio station?
A certain, you know, it's more of an older. You know, the one thing about WNOV, they have an older clientele. Okay. You know what I mean? You mentioned the Walt Laniers of the world. Nothing against Walt, but they listen to that station. You know, and here's how the station functions. So I bring a few good niggas on there. And I got to sell advertising. So now advertisers want a certain kind of thing said, right? They want a certain kind of message. And so if that person fits within the message, when we start talking cultural shit like, you know, Isaiah Jackson or some shit like that, and I'm on there, I'm talking about, you know, love and peace and unity. And, you know, I'm bringing somebody on to talk about finances for about 20 minutes. And then we're talking about loving your inner soul and your inner self. That shit is cool, but it's safe. And so the advertisers who don't want to advertise with a low watch station, they say, okay, that's doable. But Kev comes in and says, downtown ain't so great either. You know what I mean? And the masses downtown. Because I remember, Kev, that was some of the conversations. It was kind of like, well, what are they doing downtown? You know, you was heat that shit up. People like, hell yeah. You're scaring them. Because now you're telling people, get off the plantation. And they speaking some shit that I really want to hear. You know, and you ain't cutting off the mic. Because you remember, when you went in, you substituted for Meeks, who was a Republican operative.
Right.
It was a Republican show that you came in and people were like, damn. And then you started, instead of towing the line, you said, well, shit, they both got some explaining to do downtown. And when you did that, you was shaking them up. Shit, you shook them up, Kev. I remember that conversation. Kamar was clicking, Liz was clicking, and we talking, and people like, hell yeah. You know,
do we have any audio of this?
I'm scared of Liz. Liz Brown. Woo, shit.
So in the end, Kev, we can't have that nigga bringing them niggas off the plantation like that. They gotta stay on the plantation. Don't you run away. There's that turn in your ass.
Keep in mind, you're talking about what's supposed to be a black radio station. So my point is, and I hear what you're saying, and I understand this way more than it's not a surface understanding for me. I kind of get where you're going, but my thing is, in a city like Milwaukee, in a black community like the one in Milwaukee, we are overdue for somebody to sound the alarm. We are overdue for somebody to come along and do what the commander did, which was speak straight lace and have people eyes open, ears open, paying attention and trying to do something about our issues. I think any radio station here, any terrestrial radio station here in Ewok, that's kind of like the thing is, my understanding.
Don't nobody listen to the radio no more though,
well,
Kev.
There are some people who still listen to terrestrial radio. And the fact that it's so much in terms of being able to blanket the whole area with your message. It's so easy access is what always is going to make sure radio is always present. Now podcasting and the internet has done terrestrial radio some damage. So it's not what it once was, but
I think you should do TikTok or YouTube and shit. You know what I'm saying?
So
go that route. So radio dead. Radio is dead.
My point is
YouTube and TikTok.
My point is, even for the older people in Milwaukee, it's time for them to understand that there's somebody, a Gen Xer, such as myself, who's younger than them, who's fully aware of where we've been and where we are as a people. And it's our turn as Gen Xers. It's our turn. The boomers is about to be gone. It's our turn to lead this country.
Nigga, we finna be gone. Shit, we 50.
It's our turn. My point is, it's our turn. It's our turn to be spoken, to speak and be heard. And in terms of political involvement, it's time for black people to do what they should have done a very long time ago, which is empower themselves and stop waiting on some magic bus to come along and pick us up. That message needs to be spoken to black people in a mass way to say, let's stop waiting and do for self. Right?
And you think WNOV is the voice, is the microphone for you?
But you know what though, E? I'm gonna tell you something when
I'm listening.
Check this out. You're too focused on WNOV. Radio's not dead, brother. Radio and broadcasting, it can't be dead when you have shows like The Breakfast Club getting $200 or $300 million. You know what I mean?
Not radio.
It can't be.
That's on YouTube.
No, they're on radio, brother.
That's radio.
That's radio.
That's terrestrial.
They're on terrestrial radio.
Nobody listens to it on radio. They listen to it on YouTube.
Yes, they do.
iHeart, man. That's iHeart.
That's iHeart Radio. They listen to that millions.
It's syndicated. It's a syndicated radio show.
Internet radio.
It's a syndicated.
No, that's on. That's not just online, man. They're on FM.
It's a syndicated radio show.
Well, just to give proper context, people within the age of 55 to 57 still tune into terrestrial radio every day. And the amount of people that listen to AM radio is generally people in cars. That means generally people that have money. And it's 80 million people every month. So, yeah, they still listen to AM radio. Definitely.
Okay, I understand. Allow me to retort too, though.
Hold on, I wanted to let Mike finish at what he was saying. Let's let him finish.
Okay, that's fine.
No, I'll speed it up, brother. Radio is the crux of this. This is where it came from. You know, the biggest problem with black radio is that they fought so hard to shut it down. as black radio expanded, they start shutting down stations, and you had people coming in. Even though 101.7, let's be honest, they talk about the black voice, but that's owned by Greg Karma. That's a white guy. So in essence, they come in and they co-op and they take over and they control the message in the end. My thing is that when we forget WNOB, there is room for Kev. There's room if we invest. Like Kev, if you call me, you know what it is, man. If it's an investment thing, you have to start with that. How do you get that out there? You have to push a message and you have to push it hard. And my thing is that radio is not dead, brother. Even this podcast, all that stuff is not dead. It's just carving out a niche. And so much of it now, the problem with podcasts and different radio things that go on now is that it's become silly and compromised at times. So my thing,
very true.
And you make too much sense. If Kev came and switched, like Kev, you could do this. If Kev wanted to switch that format and talk about dumb shit about, how much do we hate each other?
Your point is my point. You know what I'm saying? Why worry about radio if they're going to try to regulate you and shit when you can do the fucking podcast?
Radio's huge, though, brother. Radio's huge. Podcast is huge and radio's huge. It's
I'm
both.
saying.
So it's not a problem with trying to worry about radio. You can.
The thing is, they want to tell you what to say. They want to say LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. They're going to make you say that shit or you fired. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So get the fuck out of here. So it's better to be able to have your own shit like Kev got right now. You know what I'm saying? Where the truth get told and shit instead of bullshit.
Well, so
or as a community, my fault, brother. My fault. Go ahead.
The whole thing is going all the way back to 1982. Okay, if you asking me why, and my wife says this to me all the time, like, why do you even care about terrestrial radio? From the time I heard Hot 102 when I was 8 years old as a child, I said, that's what I'm going to do when I grow up. I'm going to be on the radio. That's why I went to school and got a bachelor's degree in radio and television and did college radio, because what I've always wanted to do was be on the radio. So while it may
have went to Marshall High School, did nigga?
That wasn't in the cards. That wasn't in the cards.
No. You know that's what the school specialized in. That's why I'm joking. I'm fucking with you.
No, that was the school for it, but Reverend Barnes had a whole different idea, so that's a whole different story. So
he said Reverend Barnes had a different idea.
He wasn't allowing me to get that far away from. No, he said no. You're going down the street. So I went to King, so he wasn't letting me go. We had that discussion.
He none of that shit.
I was told immediately I would never be a student at Marshall. He told me that early. Like, well, you ain't going there, so don't even ask that.
I love it. That's
yeah. Okay. So, but my point.
Marshall was dope. Marshall was dope.
My point is, I've always wanted to be on the radio. That's what I've always wanted to do. So that's why I still care about it, because obviously it's something that I've always wanted to do. So it's like somebody who grew up saying, I want to be a firefighter, but then the only thing they can do is be in the volunteer firefighter department. It's like, well,
you are on the radio. You are on the radio right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different type of radio, man. You know what I'm saying? So what you doing, what your dream was and shit is still true. You doing it right now.
It's not true until it's full circle. And I wouldn't expect you to understand it, because it's not, like they say, it's my baby. So it's for me, that when I see people who I feel like aren't as good at this as I am, and I see them get opportunity on terrestrial radio, I say, well,
what you want to be like a Steve Harvey or somebody like that?
No, I want to be Kevin Barnes. That's who I always wanted to be. I wanted to be Kevin Barnes. I wouldn't pattern myself after anybody else except for myself. If I'm on the radio, I'm doing me, and I feel like that I'll be good at it. And when I see people who I feel like aren't as talented,
man, we all know you good at it, nigga. That's why the fuck I'm on the phone with you now. We all know you good at it, man.
When I see people who I feel like aren't as talented, especially in a small pool like Milwaukee, get opportunities and build up these, and it's like, yo, he sucks. It obviously is like me saying, yo, how the fuck he's on here? It's like I play football. If I seen somebody who wasn't as good as me, I'm gonna say, hey man, why you got dude on the squad? Tell him to move. Let me get out here and show you what I could do. And every time I did it, I was rewarded for it. So this is why I was able to go as high as I did with the sport, because my talent was there. So I feel like radio should be the same thing, where some of these people on air in Milwaukee in our media are useless and they're not really talented. It's about who they know.
You just want what you want, man. You just want what you want, and I ain't mad at you. You know what? Shit. No. Sometimes when I want what I want, I be wanting it too. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all.
But that's
when
the
the
answer,
motherfuckers want what they want,
your question.
They want it.
Right. So that's the answer to your question as to why are you not satisfied doing what you're doing right now? Because I'm not doing what I want to do. What I want to do is get up every morning, get in my car, drive to a station, sit there and talk for 3-4 hours to my people, and go home and write the show for the next day and do the same thing, add water and repeat. That's what I want to do. So until somebody who has a station up here who really want to get some listeners and make some money off advertisers, hell, we can work together till we find a station up here that wants to do that and tell the truth to the people. Because a lot of people just need to be informed on the game that's being played on their back by our system. You know, that's
okay, but either the hustle is that you start your own radio station. You get people behind you that are willing as a collective to do that, man. You know, and my thing to people is that I always say this. I was speaking to some young people at UWM one time. You know, the dream and aspirations that you have, my thing is this. Ray Kroc didn't get big until he got in his 50s, man. He kept pitching McDonald's and everybody kept laughing.
Right.
And when he got in his 50s is when he took off. And he's got the last laugh from the grave. My thing is that timing is everything, you know, and I say that not stopping is everything too. As a collective, you know, sometimes you got to go out here, and it's been stations who have done that, man. People who have started stations, you know, and that's not beyond an AM station is $100,000, you know, maybe $200,000, and that's attainable, man. So it's not a knock or an indictment against you. It's more of an indictment against those who sit in those seats who are compromised. Shit, you know what I mean?
Gotta go for me, man. I put in.
I'm right now. I'm just happy to be back here tonight doing the show because, like I said, my back was messed up. I ain't been able to do what I love, which is blessing this microphone. I'm happy that everybody who tuned in tonight, please share the show. I'm looking to build a momentum for what we do with Outlaw Radio and with the People's Network, and just continue to have conversations that need to be had. Shout out to everybody who hollered at your boy, man, while I was down on my back. I appreciated it. A lot of it gave me motivation to say, let me get my ass up and get back to what I was doing. I can't lay here forever. So I'm appreciative of that. We went way over tonight. Big Mike, you know, me and you always chop it up. We'll get a chance to converse. Ian,
always, brother.
Glad to see you doing well out there in AZ. Ace, I'm glad you were here. Ewok, I talk to you all the time anyways. And any and everybody who listens to the show, man. I don't want you to think it's over. I know my city is frowned up on. People say, fuck Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a shithole. I agree with you. I agree with you, right? Like it's home is where the heart is, man. And I feel like either you are with us or you're against us. And if you're the type of person who says, I've had enough, I want to leave, I want out of here, I say to you, goodbye. Because if you're the type of person who say, I'm planting my flag, there's no more running, the great migration is over, it's either here or it's nowhere, that's who I'm with you. Let's fight. Let's put together some shit so we can fight the good fight, man. Because running is not my solution. And I don't think there's a nirvana. I don't think there's a utopia for black people anywhere. And I think when you go to any major city in this country, if you go to the black community, you're going to find the same kind of bullshit going on that you find in our city.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, you know, that's pretty much where I'm at. So, hey, man, shout out to the witch doctor. I know he had to get out of here. Y'all see him on all kinds of different platforms and all his interviews. Support him. Support Ian on Friday nights, man. I will see y'all Wednesday. We're going to have a whole bunch of more stuff to talk about because I didn't even touch on, I've been off for months. I didn't even touch on a lot of shit that I want to talk about.
No.
So we'll be back Wednesday, man. It's like they say, man, if your criticism of the community outweighs your contribution to it, your ass is probably a coon. Peace and love.
No doubt.
Man.
One love.
Outlaws for life, man.